Yeah, Elliott Wilson. Yo, Elliott Wilson, man, it's the bigger picture.
We're back, episode 4.
Jeremy Hecht is sitting in the middle.
Jeremy Hecht.
Jeremy in the
DJ
middle. Where
Hed.
you at in the middle?
I'm DJ Hed, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, let's be clear for the record, though, so people understand. It's like, look, I'm Elliott Wilson, Jeremy Hecht, DJ Hed. Y'all talk about this everyday struggle shit. It's cool. That was a long time ago.
It's cool.
This is the hip-hop debate show. Nobody else is out here in the space doing it. We said let's accept the challenge. Obviously, Drake-Kendrick battle was a big thing. DJ has his affiliations, obviously, a situation.
You got banned.
I got banned.
You're not
Kendrick
welcome in.
won, I got banned. Sidebar, but like, you know, we also want to talk about everything else in hip-hop, and we have the most, to me, intelligent, gifted voices to speak on it. People that are in the culture, accountable. We're outside. Jeremy be at your red carpet, pulling up on you, asking crazy questions. His pedigree is enormous, 20 years in the game, you know, announcing big moves. He missed the West Coast himself. Obviously, I'm the GOAT. I'm 30 in, you know what I'm saying? So,
Obviously,
sidebar.
you're the GOAT.
You know what I'm saying? Sidebar, legend. But like, you know, like we love the culture, man, the passion for it. Like these conversations are had online all day. You know, we at UpRocks, HipHopDX, we created the bigger picture to have these conversations in one place. So
We are here.
talk to him, Jeremy.
We're live. Listen, it's been a while since we spoke. It feels like we had 2 episodes in one day. We did an
Yo,
evergreen
no more
episode.
evergreen episodes.
No,
I don't
yeah.
like the evergreen.
Every week.
We out here.
Every week. And I did a poll on YouTube this morning. There was already a couple thousand votes on what people wanted us to talk about.
Okay.
Number 1 topic was Drake writing, ghostwriting, credited writers, what it means. I think we forget too, because we're in this niche pocket of hip-hop conversations. We're online, maybe even in a niche convo on Twitter. There's the average fan who has absolutely no idea what it means to be a credited writer versus being a ghostwriter, why engineers and people in the room.
Producers
and
get writing credit.
producers-
Oh, my God, producers get writing credit.
Like
I
even
don't know that.
Rob
Yeah.
Markman, there was a convo online. He posted, somebody asked him why Kendrick has other credits on a song and not just have K. Lamar on there. And he had to explain to people, the producer and engineer gets a credit, the sample gets a credit. So can we just break down real quick, what is the difference between a credited writer and a ghostwriter for the fan who has absolutely no idea?
Okay, so a ghostwriter is a motherfucker that don't exist in the space. Right? I don't. They don't take up physical matter. Okay.
Does that mean they're not in the credits?
No. So like a ghostwriter is somebody that plays the background and behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
And there's somebody who contributes to the record, but not necessarily for the purpose of credit, or the credit gets taken from them. If I write a song and Jeremy puts it out and it's Jeremy's greatest hits, right? And I'm a ghostwriter on that record, I then don't get the credit for it because I wrote the record, right?
You got paid, but you're not on the song.
Correct. Oh, I mean, sometimes you don't get paid.
Or
Sometimes you'll do it for, I guess you could
the
say
look?
the
yeah.
look, the look. But we not there no more in 2024. But a credited writer is somebody who gets credit for contributing to the record. Now, what people don't know about the music, this is what's interesting about the music business. People know, like, they think they know music, but the music business is a whole separate entity, right? So an accredited contributor, I'll say, whether it's a producer, writer, lyricist, however it's listed on your whatever platform you're on, if someone is accredited, that means that they contributed to the composition and they're getting their credits for that, which means they're also entitled to royalties, publishing, mechanical, whatever it is that they're entitled to for that works. Now, the ghostwriter, not entitled to anything because they're a ghost. That's just, it's simple. It's the
But
difference.
what's modern in this era is like 2 things. First of all, people need to understand that the producer, in a lot of ways, gets 50% of the song.
Yes,
So
depending on who it is.
Depending on who it is.
You produce a record for Beyonce, shit get,
Yeah.
shit get tricky.
Well, let's say it's a rap record and you're a credible rap producer. You may get 50% of that song. So you'll see the producer's government name, you know,
Right.
dot in this thing. The crazy thing to me, Head, right now is that, like, even if the person's credited, like, those Drake records, it said Q Miller. It said certain names. When Foxy Brown, you know, when Jay wrote for Foxy Brown, you would see S. Carter in the credits.
Yeah.
But even if you see the credits in there, it still feels like a ghost writer because as a listener, if you could hear that person rap that before, it changes your perception of the song.
And you don't know what they did on that song.
Yeah,
too.
it's like, so I think that we call everything ghost writing now if it feels like it doesn't come from that person's pen.
That's just
At the end of
nuance
the
of
day.
conversation, just like everything is a freestyle. It's not really a freestyle. Freestyles, I guess the advent of a freestyle is off the dome, no writtens. Whereas a freestyle now is like it's a completely contrived piece that you're just regurgitating on camera.
Yeah.
Right?
I think reference tracks is an interesting term too, because a lot of people have no idea what that means.
See,
right?
reference tracks feel so like non-collaborative to me. And Head, you can speak to this if it's true or not. Like, so it's like so we're talking about really. Let's get to the bottom line. It's Vory Mob Ties.
Yeah, we can play that first. Actually, we
got that.
Yeah.
Let's play that.
Yeah, Alex, we can play the.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
You want me to cry?
Yes.
So this was off Scorpion.
I'm sick of you, Head.
Let's play it for Elliott.
Yeah, let's get first reactions.
Oh.
When I'm on my rich, I turn on the bitch.
Head's vibing.
I'm never going to Toronto again. I love Toronto. Great place.
This is hard though.
How do I do the Tootsie slide?
Look at Head.
He's right.
How do I do the Tootsie slide?
I don't know if you could.
Somebody show me
How
how
do genuine bow to that.
Vory sounded good on here though.
Accent Vory could have a hit with this on his own. You saw that?
Yeah.
And
Okay, so
where my shit go?
He wanted the whole.
Why do you love it so much?
I like the song.
I don't like that because the boy Aubrey Dre Graham lost a rap battle to Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. That it seems like open season. All of a sudden now, this reference track out of nowhere pops up.
What if OVO is working for me? It seems like there's a leak too.
Does it come from Vory himself, or does it come from with like? So yeah, like I think the disappointment in hearing this is that we kind of felt like that record was like the clap back at Pusha, even when it was a ceasefire. You know, it's like like as my man Braun and Maverick was like, I'm sick of like we love the energy of that record. Like clearly it's a vibe. It's not lyrical miracle, so it's not like astounding that like somebody came up with that hook or cadence or that bop to it, but. The problem with reference tracks is that they feel very impersonal. It doesn't feel like collaboration. It feels like producer sends out beat to other writers, and they come up with ideas.
That's exactly how it
you
works.
get records back,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I like the vibe of this. I'm going to take this idea, blah, 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 blah. And like a lot of what Drake's hook in this song is, in the first verse, is very much from Vory's pen. Now, to shoot him a little bit of bail, in the second verse, some of my favorite lines about, leading and scoring, look at my assists, like that seems like it's his pen, the second verse. But the first verse borrows a lot from the hook, the cadence, the lines, room fast, like the whole thing is taken. So when you hear a reference track and then you hear the final result, it does kind of sting and take away the effect of the record, to diminish it.
Well, the thing about the reference tracks with Drake that I went back and went in a loop and like rewatched all his interviews. I watched your interview. I listened to the Semtech interview. Every time he's mentioned collaboration with other artists, he uses that word.
Yeah,
right.
That didn't feel collaborative.
Which to me is very interesting, but he's never explained what collaborating means. I think as a fan, I want to know, did you get that from Vory and then you added those? Or maybe you're in the studio and going, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go at Kanye. I'm trying to go at Pusha. Here's my bars. Here's my tone. What do you think? He added. Like, that could be it, but I think we would need to hear that from Drake's mouth of what collaborating means and what it means to get a song from somebody else and put your pen on it. I think it's confusing for people.
I got a hot take.
Hit me.
I actually want more ghostwriting and collaboration. I want more ghostwriting and collaboration because at least we would get better records at the bare minimum. Like when you look at I look at Kanye's records, right? Like not the newer Wyoming shit.
Yeah.
Not like that, but
Pre-Yeezus.
even Yeezus.
Okay.
I'll take Yeezus. You know what I'm saying?
Pre-Pablo.
I like Pablo.
Okay.
Just the last 4 years?
Yeah, just to get, you know what I'm saying, Lou. But when you look at those, I was going to, like you said, you went down a whole wormhole, right? I went back and I was looking through all the Kanye stuff, and there's like extensive credits on Kanye's records, which I believe attributes to the success of the records. So I want more people to collaborate because this whole, for instance, if you think about it, like a lot of people take this entrepreneurial DIY approach to everything in life at this point. Oh, I could just do this myself. Oh, we have mics. We could do a podcast. Or
You're
like
not Elliott Wilson or DJ
yeah,
Hed.
yeah,
You're
but
not
no, but
Jeremy
I'm just
Hecht.
saying that everybody takes his approach. Oh, I can hang my own TV on the wall. It's literally an
I don't
earthquake
need
happening.
Best Buy
Yeah,
guy.
or you could find the guy who.
Or you could just get
does
someone
that.
who
Yeah.
does that.
Yeah.
Right? And so my thoughts on this, and I know it'd be unpopular, but my thoughts on this would be if we had more people who that's what they do and owned what they did. You have people like Pooh Bear. You have people like who have James Fauntleroy, right? Who credits exceed anything probably anybody would ever know. Google these people, right?
John Bellion.
Facts. Like all these different people who have wrote, co-wrote, contributed, ghostwrite, however you want to phrase it, right? To the majority of the stars that we know today, I think we would have overarching better music. This DIY approach that I'm gonna just do it myself, and I don't need a ghostwriter.
So then that speaks to Drake's greatness. Maybe Drake is
does.
the one who like ultimately like deaded all that.
It
Like,
does speak to his greatness.
Everything that you've ever heard Drake reference or whatever, he's delivered it better, right? You don't want to hear Quentin Miller going 10 bands, 100 bands. Like,
His
you
tone
never heard a
matters.
reference that was like, yo, that record's like the Vory is probably the closest of that. Maybe that record could have worked if Vory was the artist of it. Like maybe that record could have worked if Vory was the artist, but like Drake did make it better.
Yeah.
Drake takes all these elements. His ear is bulletproof. It's like he does make these records better.
The thing is, you got to look at it, right? Go up to your point when we were talking about when you was on me about the Dr. Dre and the Jermaine Dupri shit, right? The difference is not everybody is Drake. Not everybody is Kendrick. Kendrick, I know what he does. I've seen him do it over and over and over again, right? Him, Ab-Soul, Nipsey, I've seen him do it. However, I have told 2 out of 3 of those people, hey, let somebody help you with these hooks.
The hooks, the bridges,
Woo!
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you is the collaboration is an effective way to garner success overall. And I don't necessarily agree that everybody's not Kendrick. So going back to what I was just saying, Dr. Dre was a pro at that. He'll pull it. He'll get a Scott Storch. He'll get a Danger in the room. Play these keys. This is what I want. This is what I want it to feel like. This is what I want it to sound like.
You can better execute my idea.
Facts.
What I hear in my head.
That's a fact. And so
I can't play the keyboard the way Scott Storch can.
Bro, I do it all the time. I just sent a reference track last week, 2 weeks ago, to a huge artist. Hey, just sing this. You know what I mean? Just do this. It's already done. It's already laid out. But you can do it better than what this person did it.
But Head, is it fair to say though? But when this is all behind the scenes music making. But unfortunately, as a listener, I think that once we're involved in that process and we hear it, it does take away from the final result to us.
Do you hold?
It's almost like we don't want to be inside, right?
It's because the way we viewed, and I think to connect the Drake and Kanye thing, it's the way we view being the best rapper versus being an artist. And I think seeing Drake come up under Kanye's, as maybe not his protege, but he looked at Kanye. In your interview,
correct.
You asked him about Kendrick. He said, I'm looking at Kanye as
Always
the guy
has.
I'm competing with.
That's why he
right?
lost the battle to this day.
Right.
Because he doesn't view Kendrick the same way he would view a Kanye.
And he looked at Kanye and said, how do I get that big? And he looked probably behind the curtains early because Kanye was working with him on his first album, on Find Your Love, which Kanye allegedly wrote or produced or had a pen in. And he said, wait, this is how this guy makes music? He's got 10 people in the studio. 20 people in the studio. They're all giving ideas. They're all writing these
when
verses.
all he needed was Sahai.
Bro.
But he's probably like, how do I get to the top?
I don't understand how this guy's richer than ever, and he's writing the worst raps of his whole career. Where's Sahai? Like, make up with Sahai. Cut that guy a check.
Have you seen the All of the Lights credits?
Insane.
It's an incredible record.
It's a great song.
It's a timeless classic record that I listen to this day.
And Drake was part of that.
And then he
and I'm
apparently
okay
got mad.
with
He
that.
wasn't on
And
the
that's my
remix.
point. I want more of that because everybody is not Kendrick. You're just not. Everybody's not gonna be Prince or Michael Jackson. Everybody's not Beyonce. Beyonce have hella collaborators. That's not. I always brought up the difference between hip hop and R&B, right? Hip hop between singers and rappers. Singers don't get the same, aren't held to the same standard that rappers are. Why? Explain that to me.
It speaks to Jeremy's point of because we're used to judging hip hop by this MC rapper situation where the idea with an MC rapper is I write my bars. Somebody might help me with a hook. Producer might have a hook. Swizz Beef might have a hook idea. On to the next one. On to the next one.
And nobody's ever been mad about that.
Jay-Z did not come up with that. Like Swizz presented the track to Jay-Z, for example, I would assume. All Love to Hove. Like you hear on to the next one. You hear, like Swizz Beatz mine. That's my record. I'm Swizz Beatz.
Yeah.
I did the beat. I'm on to the next one. On to the next one. Like so, I'm presenting that to the artist, and I'm giving you a framework where not only do I love your beat, I love your hook idea. I'm gonna expound on that. So now I got to put together 1 or 2 verses, 16, 16, 16, and we got a record that's out of here. Like it fits the place of certain things. But how do you judge greatness, right? Like you're saying. So we're judged by first this MC thing of like there's a Jay-Z, there's a Nas, there's an Eminem. So when you take a Drake or Kendrick fits neatly in that because the idea is that Kendrick is barring you up. Everything comes from his pen. He's not trying to do the expansive artist thing. Drake, now we realize more and more, is more like a Kanye, where he pulls from different things to be his resource. So how do you judge that? Is Kanye in the top 5 against these like lyrical MC guys? Like, is it just who's the best hip hop artist?
Well, I think
or is it MC?
To that point, I think the difference between a singer and a rapper, which is why I get so muddy with a Drake or a Kanye. A singer, we don't necessarily judge as a songwriter. Rapper and songwriter go hand in hand. MC and songwriter go hand in hand. Your pen and your bars, that's how you're judged. Now, we give, a hook or a verse is different than a hook and a bridge, whatever that may be. But when Drake was going to be the top rapper, even when Kanye, he was on the top rapper list in 2007 when he was dropping Graduation, we didn't know as a public that Kanye had that many writers. Now it's taken for granted. Okay, we all know he has a million people in the studio. At that time, me as a fan, I had no idea. I'm like, Kanye's going with Wayne back to back on a song. Barry Bonds, who has the best verse? Kanye's the guy right now.
And then the theory is that the fans ultimately don't care. They care about the final result. They care about the record.
And
does the record slap?
And that goes to what we were talking about before in the last episode. We care. The gen pop, they don't give a fuck. They don't care who.
But also with gen pop, I want to be fair though, that doesn't mean like the non-hip hop fans. I think a lot of hip hop fans don't care either.
Correct.
It's not just like the pop crowd. Like that's always the leaning with Drake. Like, well, the pop crowd doesn't care. Just give us. But no, the hip hop crowd too. Like the younger generation, they're not connected to the idea of like it has to be this purest form that it comes from this person. It's so intricate and it's his pen. He's barring it up and the School of Rock, Kim KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, Slick Rick. They're not judging music by those standards.
Travis Scott.
Travis is another hybrid.
So Sci-Hi the Prince wrote Sicko Mode. He wrote there's a reference track of him saying a lot of the same things that Travis said. Not one person batted an eye, including me.
So
but I didn't view Travis Scott as ever trying to be the best rapper. I view Travis Scott as trying to be an artist, as a producer, putting together a record. Now, if Travis Scott was out here being like, on a record, I'm the guy, nobody can fuck with my pen, everybody's scared of me, and then you heard Sci-Hi the Prince's reference track, it would matter. And I think that's why it mattered and why it hurt like me as a fan to hear the Drake,
so when did
reference track.
When did Drake ever say that I'm the guy, nobody can fuck with my pen?
On literally every record from like 2011
that's
to
why
2013.
we still
But
haven't
what did he say?
What did he say on 5 a.m. in Toronto?
He wants it all. He wants it all. That's the AM/PM side of him. Like, and again, that's the elephant in the room. We haven't heard the AM/PM reference, right? We haven't heard him bar for bar bite somebody's bars that they laid down for him, like the lyrical.
Yeah, what song would really hurt?
The AM/PM stuff, as we all know, like we haven't heard that yet. Like clearly, even in Mob Ties, like that hurts because we felt like, oh, that's his like response back to Pusha. He said it's like it's dead, but it's like it's a little jab. It's like. It's like H-Town told me hold down. So it's nod to that. I got the Mob Ties, Jay Prince. You feel like when he's saying I'm sick of these niggas, he's saying I'm sick of these niggas, not Vory. That he's actually genuinely sick of these niggas and it's coming from him. So it's disappointing. Whenever you hear the reference tracks, it's disappointing. It's like almost like I don't want to see how the operation happens. I don't want to see the internal shit if I'm not part of the situation. But yeah, like to a Drake fan, Drake still has a side of him where we feel like he can still get into his mode of barring you up as an MC.
He said I could load. What did he say? I could load a clip with bullets that fire backwards.
So then the idea is like
rapper. He's saying I'm at the top.
So it's like then the idea is that none of that's
wordplay.
That's not what all that stuff is just from his pen. Like so that's his strength now. And now at this point of his career with this high output, he needs help with hooks, choruses, bridges, vibes. To connect with the generation. I'm going to get with Cash Cobain because he's a young boy. So he comes up with an idea. I'm going to ride with that and use that on my album For All the Dogs and ride with that. And then when it's bar up time, I still got that in my disposal.
Mine.
We don't know that yet. So if we heard him with the barred up part of like the AM/PM, That's be even more disappointing to hear that part of it. But it also feels like it's open season, man. He lost a battle to Kendrick, so it's like, okay, let's find everything we can to continue to discredit this man like he's not one of the all-time greatest hip-hop artists.
I think it's different, too, which songs you hear, because to your point of the AM/PM, we've heard Drake say from his own mouth that Hold On, We're Going Home was written by Majid Jordan and handed to him. And no one cared. At that point, no one cared, because we're like, this is a pop song, this is a record, like, cool. But at that point, you were like, okay, he's collaborative in that sense, but we didn't know about the other songs. So it still would.
And Head knows, like, the big culture is like the big artist takes, like, remember back in the day, Jay-Z with Can I Get Her, right? That's a Ja Rule song. If you're Ja Rule on the come up, you're like, can I get a fuck you, da, 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 da. And you have this hook idea and you have your verse. You're Jay-Z, Irv Gotti, you're like, give that record to Jay. Because Jay could take that idea, take it further.
You made it a hot line, I made it a hot song.
Keep you on the song, give you that look, put you in the video, and help launch your career. And that's what they did. Can I Get It is like Ja Rule's idea, his song. He had the hook idea, he had his verse. He could have put that out himself, but smarter was to say, Jay, you take the record. You flip it into something else. Give me that last verse, and it helped launch his career.
It's like behind. What do you guys think of interpolation? Because Hove is a guy who does that a lot and hasn't gotten overly critiqued for it. But like, there's the Ice-T lyric. Was it something that people were like, oh, he's
Biggie
biting?
lines? The Biggie lines.
You made it a hot line. I made it a hot song.
Yeah, that solidified it. But even when he quoted Biggie back in the day, he would catch heat for that.
You think so? Yeah, you know what? You're right, because he addressed it. When I say a big verse, I'm only bigging up my brother.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I think people pick and choose when they want to be critical about it, because Jay's not arrogant enough for people to critique him in the same way that they critique Drake, in my opinion. Jay doesn't even defend himself against adversity when he probably should. Like, he doesn't even speak. It's like the K-Dot thing.
Yeah.
Dot and Jay move in the same capacity. You don't really see them like that. You don't really hear about. Like, Jay gets killed for the NFL thing, and ever since he took over the NFL thing, we've seen nothing but slapping ass halftime shows.
Yeah, and he hasn't spoken on it at all.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, and the thing is, when he first did the deal, he was getting killed in the press, in the media, on social, Twitter. Everybody was killing Jay. He would partner with the white people, and then, other people would be really offended by his. Yeah. But look what he's done with it, right? We got an Usher Super Bowl halftime. We got Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. People were crip walking on the Super Bowl. I love this man for this, right? So I think that if Jay was to get out here and be like, I'm that guy, people would be more hypocritical on him than they are.
But I mean, he does it on songs. I think people, to your point, people do want to look for reasons to critique Drake, because Drake's
dogpiling now. Drake is down. It's like, let's discredit his whole shit.
But even before, like, he would interpolate. He looked up to Kanye, but he looked up to Hove too. And the way that he would interpolate on songs, whether it be like Too Short or the one on the YG song that he ended up getting sued for, I don't think Drake is arrogant enough to think that no one's noticing. I think he is paying homage to older songs.
I think Drake pays homage, but I think that he's so successful and arrogant, and I think that's a dangerous combination. You can't be egotistical, arrogant, and successful. You can be egotistical and arrogant down here, where you're still with the people.
Can't be the biggest artist.
You can't be the biggest artist for a decade.
You can be Floyd.
They hate Floyd,
but he's never lost.
They hate him.
Floyd never lost, though.
Yeah,
Floyd never lost.
Yeah.
Well, he just took his L. It's 10 years in.
I guess.
You know what I mean? Whatever. To his credit, I'm not taking away from Drake's legacy. I'm just saying that people build you up to tear you down.
Well, should we just judge it at this point of like, these are hip hop artists? It's not this taboo anymore of like, this is a rapper. This is what they're all artists. Like, whatever way they approach it. So when we talk all-time great conversations, Drake, Kanye, Travis is in the same battle with Jay, Nas, and Kendrick of who the best is of all time. And these are our greatest out. Like I said, this battle obviously has put Drake and Kendrick in this historical context of how do we view them.
Yes.
Like where are they at in the all-time greatest thing? We all love the forefathers. We love Biggie and Pac. We love the great rappers of the 80s. But it's like, it's 2024, right? The clock goes forward. So it's like, do we feel comfortable saying that Drake is up there with Kendrick, even if his approach to making music is different? And Jay, Nas, and them may be these like purebred MCs that don't rely on certain rules, but there's now the Kanye opened that door, Drake ran through it, Travis is on the heels of that. it's changed how we pursue what greatness is in hip hop.
I think what was interesting about the artist versus rapper combo is I was going back and thinking about the way that Drake spoke about himself on songs and in interviews. And I think after he realized he couldn't be considered the greatest MC because of conversations like this are always going to happen.
Because of the Quentin Miller moment.
Because of the Quentin Miller moment. He started actually shifting the way he spoke about himself to be more Michael Jackson. I think he started to be like, okay, I can't win this, but I could be the biggest artist of all time. And then you hear the bars about Michael. Then you hear the bars about, bigger than the Beatles. Like, I think that's why that combo was so important in the battle.
That's Jeremy Hecht, baby.
That was me
they can't fuck with the squad.
Come on.
Hey,
but that's why Kendrick
that's an exceptional
brought that up.
observation.
It is.
Kendrick kept being like Prince and Michael Jackson because the Michael combo was like, I'm the biggest, I'm the biggest, I'm the biggest. And Kendrick was like, cool, but let me poke holes in
And then the question ahead is it greater to view yourself as like, you're great because you kind of follow more of a pure blueprint like a Kendrick?
No.
Is that the better path of what success looks like?
Yes and no. It depends on how you look at it in your vantage point. Like, to your point, what you were saying, the forefathers of MCing, right? You got Eminem. These are MCs.
Yeah, Jay-Z, Nas, M.
Jay-Z, Nas, M. Like, all those people are
before the 80s and stuff. Yeah.
quote unquote hip-hop purist type MCs. I think it's harder to get to this level and still be in the same conversation with a Drake and a Mike, not having that level of collaboration.
If you're doing it all.
If you're doing it all yourself. Somebody who, if you get up and you do it, like, you get more credit as Elliott Wilson for doing a Crown, and you're sitting by yourself than doing a show as a collaborative effort.
With Rap Radar or B-Dot, for example, right?
My point, right? So when you're doing it yourself, I think it is the road that you're traveling is more difficult. Yes, you get more credit for that.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
That's part of, to me, why Kendrick's victory feels even sweeter.
It's bigger.
To everybody.
It's bigger.
In the culture, yeah.
The only other thing I wanted to bring up on reference tracks and ghostwriting and Drake is
the Drake Kendrick
and
show.
I just want to preface this by saying this is coming from a Drake fan perspective. Like I grew up Canadian. I was a huge Drake fan, still am. But
me too.
But there's shut up. So
I am. I like his music.
You do, yeah. You were vibing to the Mob Ties reference track.
I like Mob Ties.
Yeah, you like Mob Ties.
It's a good song.
Okay,
West Coast.
So when Kendrick said on Like That, he said, "Your best work is a light pack." Prince outlived Mike Jack. Okay, yes. We just talked about what the Michael reference was, but when he said your best work is a light pack, and then on Euphoria he said back to back, I like that record. I'm gonna get back to that. There's this bubbling rumor that has no confirmation about Daylyt ghostwriting back to back or being a part of the sessions.
No, Daylyt said he was joking, Drake. Right? I don't know who Daylyt is, but he's capping.
I'm just curious because I was looking at it and there was, around that time they were together, and now Daylight's hardcore Kendrick. He's tweeting about TDE, and I was just wondering if you guys would be hurt, and would that hurt the overall view of the Meek and Drake battle? Hypothetically, if there was help on that record.
Okay, I'm gonna say this for the record. I talk to Light often. He didn't write back to back.
Okay.
But why did he put it out there?
He didn't put it out there. He didn't say that.
Okay.
He was making reference to, it's kind of like how when I tweet, like
too vague.
I'm tweeting about certain things that's going on in my life. Not my life doesn't revolve around the homies.
These wild West Coast.
You know
tweeters.
what I mean? Yeah. So to be fair, like Light didn't. He cleared that up, but Light didn't write back to back. If he did, it would take away from the record, yes. But he did not write that.
But he's confirmed. Okay. So then, do you think there was any reference to Daylyt in those bars with Kendrick, or
no?
Okay.
No.
Okay. Then
I think whenever we hear references, it takes away from the final result.
Yeah.
The only reference I'm excited that I want to hear is, and I've always said it, is that the Jay-Z for Dre. The still DRE.
Yeah, that would be fire.
Legendary.
Like, yeah.
Oh, you want to hear that reference?
I want to hear that reference. Stout claimed he had it somewhere, or DJ Clue claimed he had it. It's like, I want to hear that because he's rapping, he's writing for Dre's perspective. Snoop ended up using his parts. He wrote the hooks and the Snoop parts.
I would like to hear that.
That would be great to hear. Other than that, we would celebrate that because, again, we don't view Dre as like the rapper. Dre is obviously a producer.
Same thing. We never,
Yeah, so I think we would enjoy that reference. But every other reference to me, it's heartbreaking. It takes away the essence and enjoyment of the song to me, honestly. But other than still DRE.
I like to point something out though in reference to that Jay, right? So who's the GOAT of living rap right now?
I think you'd have to say Jay.
Who's the GOAT of hip hop journalism?
Elliott Wilson.
And both of them love California.
we moved.
So
Our
which
wives,
coast
our
is
wives,
the Go
our
Coast?
wives made us move to California. That's a fun fact.
West Coast.
I wanted to ask DJ Hed if there is, because all the comments love your West Coast perspective and bias. But is there an
Bias.
is there
He's
an
biased,
artist?
Jeremy? Is
Allegedly,
DJ Hed biased?
I'm not biased.
allegedly online. Is there a West Coast artist you do not like?
That's a great question. Is there a West Coast
He
artist?
did say he fronted on Tyler the Creator. I'll shoot him.
Yeah, I
some bill
did.
later.
I gave
Yeah,
him his
back in the
credit.
day, yeah.
I fronted on Tyler.
But
the
you
Creator.
fronted.
But right
back
now?
then?
That I don't like right now? No. I don't know that I don't like them just because I don't
Do you
listen.
try to like them more because they're coming from the West?
No.
More open arms.
I usually just tell them I don't like their stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing about Head though. Like Head is obviously biased, or he's not biased, but like that gets overused. He has an appreciation for his region and where he comes from.
Correct.
But part of what makes him important in the voice of the culture is that, you know, all y'all can have your little opinions online. He's knee deep with these artists. He's dealing with them directly. He's either in the studio with them, he's going back and forth communicating with them, and he's challenging them. He's saying, yo, your shit is not good. We talked about Roddy Ricch. He's like, he's challenged Roddy Ricch through the years.
Facts.
And it's like, that's the difference. It's like, if you love something, as we know as fans, we're very passionate about it, protective of it, and we challenge it. It's not just like everything's good. His pride in who he is in the West Coast means that he's trying to create a certain standard that he wants people to reach.
That's it. I need my people to be in a position to win. There's people who I wish would move differently in the way that they do things. That's not for public consumption. But there are artists that I don't think are really great. And I've told them, like, this is how you can improve. So they're working on it. There was an artist, I can't remember his name. I don't like his music at all. I can't remember his name. But he came up to me at an event, and he just walked up to me. He's like, yo, you remember me? And I'm like, no. And he was like, yo, bro, like, I just appreciate you telling me that my shit was trash. I'm like, when did I tell you that? He was like 2 years ago. He's like, I went and did something else. And he started a business. He making 6 figures right now.
Wow.
And he was like, I just went and started a business. I got my family together. But it's like, I look at it, most people look at it as like hate, right? Or critique or being an asshole. I look at it as a matter of life and death, because you can burn 10 years pursuing a career that's not for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm the judge, jury, and executioner of that. But if you ask me my opinion, I'm going to share it with you.
I always liked that Jerry Seinfeld quote where he said everybody who comes up to him and says they want to be a comedian, he just tells them they're trash after they tell him a joke, because he said if you have to rely on Jerry Seinfeld's opinion to be a comedian, you weren't built for this.
West Coast.
So.
We challenge.
But speaking of West Coast, Vince Staples.
Vince.
Album and renewal of his Netflix show. But the album came out last week while we were recording. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. What do you guys think
Dark
of
Times?
the project? Yeah.
Man, shout out to Vincent. The thing about
Vincent.
The thing about Vince, right, is me and him have had I've actually told Vince I didn't like his shit. You know what I'm
Really?
saying?
When was that?
I think it was the album before Ramona. Well, I don't remember the name of the album. But me and him have had we be on the phone for 3 hours, like having debates, conversation, whatever. And the thing about Vince is so creative that I think he can create himself out of his demo. Does that make sense?
Yeah. He overdoes it almost.
Yeah, so like but Vince is like brilliant level genius. Like I'm talking exceptional intellect level, right? To the point where he's almost smarter than the people that he's talking to on a regular basis, right? And so when he's making his music, I think that because of who he is and the type of the type of box that people have put him in creatively from a music standpoint, he doesn't get that same elevation that everybody else gets, like a Tyler. Vince is like a Tyler to me. They're on the same wavelength of creativity in the way that they produce their music. This album is no different. It's just so creative and so abstract that I think people are just gonna miss it. Even me. Like I look at it's three artists that I look at in this way, right? There's Vince, there's Tyler, and there's Ab-Soul, where they're so obtuse in the way in their approach to the music that it just goes. I didn't get Ab-Soul's music for 10 years. Didn't understand. We from the same neighborhood. Same neighborhood. Same thing with Vince. I didn't fuck with none of his shit coming up. Like, because I didn't get it. I had to read books and shit and catch up. You know what I mean? Like I'm just being honest with you.
No, it's real. It's real. You know, it's funny. I was gonna say this, but I know what Vince's perspective would be like. Maybe it's not for the white man to consume anyway. You know what I'm saying? He'd probably say some shit.
He
like
would
that.
definitely say that.
He's saying it went over, but what I did want to say is this is the most digestible album to the mainstream that he's made, where it's not compromising his creativity.
Correct.
But it's in a way where you can listen to it on a daily basis and consume it and live with it and ride around in the car with it. And I think what you said, a lot of the times his beat selection was overly creative to the point where some people might not get it or it might go over people's heads. But this was digestible beats, soulful. The lyrics hit hard. You know, obviously it represented where he came from and what he's going through. But there's still a human aspect to it that everyone can relate to.
Etouffee, that's the one I like.
Yeah, Etouffee.
I posted that.
Etouffee and Little Homies, I think, really stand out. And I think, speaking of Tyler, I think that Tyler was an influence, right? Like, for sure. He said that. Like, he came up under a world where it's like, you know, we all thought, no disrespect, but Earl Sweatshirt was going to be this thing to the next level. From a rap perspective. And maybe in some ways Vince is that, or even Tyler himself has become the artist. Like, I always say Tyler built the movement, but he still became the biggest star of the movement that he built, you know, even beyond Frank Ocean. Like, you see what he's done. And I think Vince is drawn from that. Vince has made it clear that, like, you know, he comes from that breed. He learned from them. He went on the road with them. He took sacrifices. Obviously, his background, his affiliations, his lifestyle was way different than theirs. But just musically in the world he was in, he drew from that. And obviously you get inspired by that. We saw with Tyler, it's like we talked about last episode, how, you know, whether West Coast fronted on him or some of us also fronted on him because of, like, the imaging of him. Once he did the Flower Boy into Igor, into Call Me If You Get Lost, it's like it's undeniable how talented and dope this guy is. And I feel like Vince is on this run now with Ramona and now this album and the one before that. It's like these very, like, shorter albums, 39 minutes, 12 songs, but, like, showing a range where he can make a Magic, he can make a Little Homies, and it's like, it sounds like, oh, this is something that could actually get played on the radio, could be played, like, as a hit, a club record, whatever, but, like, didn't seem like he's reaching for it. He didn't sacrifice his artistry or what he's about to do it. So we applaud him for that. It feels like he's such a great artistic run. At the same time, you know, creating this great show, which we all felt compelled to be, like, champion and say, hey, get this guy some more shows, man. Renew this contract. Like, he only did 5 episodes. Like, we like this idea, this concept. And I feel like public opinion and public, you know, like, celebration helped propel Netflix to make the right decision to, like, renew this show and give him more episodes. So
I think we need more than 5-10 episodes of Vince Staples show. Of course. Vince has so many ideas that, like we've talked about, that, like, go beyond the realm of just Netflix or just music and stuff like that. And that's what I mean by the genius level of it, because you have to be kind of semi-crazy to compartmentalize the ideas in a way, like, okay, this is going to be on this show and this is going to be in the album and this is going to be in my interviews, and, like, but he's consistent. And that's why I appreciate, like, when you meet Vince, you meet him on the show, you know his music, it's all consistent. It's all cohesive to the brand. Yeah.
You don't meet the person in real life and be like, that's not what I'm hearing. Like, it doubles down.
He don't rap about hella drugs that he don't do.
Yeah.
So that being said,
DJ Hed's side pan has become a famous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people in the comments are like, do you guys have an audience? Because Hed keeps panning over.
I look at the camera. I mean, this is my camera, but I look at this camera so that way y'all know, because I want them to go wide when I look at him. Huh?
It's like in The Office. You're like, look at this.
No, but I think the musically Vince has a lot more to be discovered from people. Like, I think if people go back and listen to Vince's catalog, I think you understand Vince. I would like to see him expand more, and I can't talk about it, but he has an idea, and I'm like, we need to do that idea, because that to me would take him to where I feel like he's supposed to be in the music conversation. Vince is never mentioned in any music conversations.
It's interesting though, because I wonder if, from the outside looking in, he's so nonchalant and he seems so comfortable in his own life, what he wants to do, you know, kind of ducking off.
Does he
even want to be?
Does he want to extend to the point where there's a risk involved, right?
So,
like, does it seem
okay?
Like
there's a side of him to me, and I watched the Zane Lowe interview. I feel like he still does not want to embrace, like, hey, that Magic record is a different type of bop, or the Lil Homie record, or what the New Orleans record is a different type of bop. It's like, that could maybe take your career to this thing. Do you want that?
So,
and I feel like he always kind of pulls back on that point.
So, to be fair, that's his personality. He shares in that. If you think about it, right, a lot of people from here are like that. You don't see Dot out, like, you don't see Roddy is like that.
You still ain't seen Dot.
You don't see, I'm just saying, you don't see Dot, you don't see Roddy, you don't even see Q is like that.
Yeah.
we're like, it's just
I can't get Mustard to talk to me.
it's a different temperament when you're from here. We're not boisterous like that, right? So Vince is no exception to that rule. The only difference is Vince has the capability of doing it, which I'm always pushing him to do that.
Yeah.
And I just want him to flex one time. Just flex one time. Like Dot flexed, right?
Yeah.
So Dot is like, okay,
Yeah.
if he don't flex no more, if he don't flex no more,
Yeah.
Dot is flexed.
Sometimes
And
you gotta pop
And
out.
Tyler does it at times.
Tyler will
Yeah, Tyler
flex.
does.
Tyler
once
does.
in a while,
Tyler turn it on, but then he'll pull back.
He'll pull
But
it back.
But he'll turn it
But
on.
most of the people that are from,
So that's a West Coast thing.
I wouldn't say, well, it's a California thing, Southern California thing. Because the Bay has their own culture too, and so does
Oh, they turn up. They
Central
don't care.
California. Yeah, they're more flamboyant, like
Yeah.
different ways they pop
Short
out.
dogs in the house.
Out here, you also have to think it's a survival technique too, because the more flamboyant you are, the bigger target you
The
are.
more you're seen, the more.
Correct. The more people ask you for shit. You know what I mean? The more jobs you have, right?
And the more cousins you have.
And the more cousins you have, or relatives, depending on where you are in the city.
yeah.
So, but I'm just saying, like,
West Coast.
with Vince, there's this one thing that I need him to do. And he knows what that is. We've talked about it, but it's this one thing I need him to do. If he were to do that, then I'll be satisfied and I won't say anything else. But he's so dope, and people don't know how dope he is because he won't come out of that and express it to the masses. Like he that's really him. Like, oh, I'm not tripping. He don't actually care, to be honest. He don't care
I
about
mean, we did a
Yeah,
rap
that's-
radar, and it's just like, yo, like, and Hove was telling us, like, being B-Dot, like, how much he loved Vince's Ramona album. So we're telling him, like, how Hove loves the album, but it's like he couldn't, like, receive the positivity. Like, that's the comedy of the interview. You go back and watch it. It's like,
that was funny.
whenever it was like, yo, it's like, Hove did this, or ask questions, like, once it was this outpouring of, like, love, or like, yo, dog, like, this might be your best album, or this is, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, he would deflect. Or this is one of the best albums of the year. It's like, he's built to deflect that. He does not like the energy of
He
that coming that
he
way.
don't receive. I've called him to give him flowers before, and he was like, "Man, hey, what you want, some emotional shit?" It's like, bro, like, I'm just telling you, like, you did good.
Your mama
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Your mama
Like, I really
okay, man?
fuck with this. I really fuck with it. Like, I sent him I text him a picture of a Netflix billboard. It was on Sunset. I sent him a picture of it, and he was like, he just thumbs up it and was like, you know, they can give me the one on the other side. I'm like, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Vince has definitely turned off this episode by now, but if he's still watching, Vince, the album is fire.
I want more Vince Staples shows.
Yes, his mind is incredible. Congrats. Yeah, there we go. West
Season
Coast.
2, man.
West
Let's get
Coast.
it.
Speaking of West, last time we were talking about Roddy. I know you were teasing that there was upcoming music. We got the first song. I know you said there's more.
There's more.
But how'd you guys
That wasn't
feel?
the song you played us either, right? Off the record.
No.
Allegedly.
Okay, so why did he go with this record? Was it Survivor's Remorse? And I like the
Survivor's
record.
Remorse.
I like Survivor's Remorse.
Is okay. So for the record, for the Twitter and the universe, I mean the YouTube, this was the stuff. The record I've been talking about is not even this record. This record is fire because actually,
Had you heard this record?
Let me rephrase. The video is fire, right?
Yeah.
Because I told Roddy, I said, bro, you have to give people layers to yourself. Like, it's trucks and chains and Ferraris and Rolls Royces. That's cool.
We know you won. You're successful.
I said, but when you tell people who you are in real life, as a man, as a father, and this is what I was talking about on the episode, like, he's grown as a man.
Yeah.
Like, you see, that's his son. You know what I mean? That's his kid in the video. And like, to me, those are the things that people don't know about him because he doesn't show you anything. Roddy's just like Dot. They both from Compton. You don't get to see their kids, and they're like, that's why it was a huge step for Dot to do Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Have
the way
them
he
on the
did,
cover.
Yeah.
and have them on that was huge for him. Like, I don't think people
We
understand.
still don't even know the kids' names.
You
That's
do know the
crazy
kids'
part.
names.
I don't.
He says it on the album.
Okay. Clues.
Yeah, he says it on the album.
Okay.
Go listen to the album.
Is it
but
Enoch or no? Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about it
Whatever.
later.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one. That's one. But so Roddy is. I don't know if this is announced yet, but so Roddy's new album is called Navy, and I don't even know if that's public yet. But
I think I saw navy blue speculation about it.
okay, so Roddy's new album is called Navy, and the thing about this specific record, it shows his depth as a man, as a father, how much he's grown, and he's getting in front of everything. He kicks the record off like, let's get this out the way, right?
Said it. We'll talk about everything on
Let's-
the first line.
Let's talk about it right now. And I was always telling him the way to defeat that is you have to just dead the energy. Fire only burns with an energy source and oxygen. So you remove one of the two, fire can't burn, right? So by doing that, that's my strategy of just deflating the air, taking the air out of whatever the fire is.
Hit it head on, basically.
Go right at it, right?
No pun intended.
And so what's dope is fact.
There,
So what's dope about this record, that one is the layers, but two, the visuals of it is simple, but it's still
draws
giving
you in.
you a depiction of his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this song was I said it was the perfect comeback for him because not only did he address everything, but he showed his growth in the lyrics.
Correct.
Like my only critique of Roddy was always that he never showed another side. Like I always felt like there was something missing in the lyrics and the pen. Melodically incredible, sonically incredible, sound, songs, hits. Like the one thing I always said was I would love to hear him expand what he's going through on lyrics. And this song, he not only addressed his family and what he's been going through, you really got to understand why it's taken him so long. Like he really did say, he said, what was the lyric? If I had a dollar for every time they said I fell off, I'd be a billionaire. You could tell, like he was really going through it. That was real life. It wasn't like just some internet shit to him. He's like, am I done? Like, did I have one album and that's it?
So the other thing is that people don't know about Roddy is he deals with a lot behind the scenes. I mean, the court cases and all that kind of stuff, right? But there's a lot that goes into it because you got to deal with the homies, and then you got to deal with, there's been, leadership changes. There's been all kind of different things that goes on that people don't necessarily aren't privy to. They're like, where's the music? Where's the album? And I get that because we're in consumer culture. People are still human beings. They got to live life. And then also, when somebody doesn't go live life, you get mediocre music.
Yep.
When people don't go and live real life and have real life experiences,
Don't leave the house
You get
because they rich.
studio-itis,
yeah, you just in there just rapping, and then nobody cares.
Rapping about rapping.
Rapping
I would say
about rapping.
If you don't save time between an album, then your only experience is whatever you experience success-wise and then your life in the studio. That's why everyone says the first album you've been making your whole life. But the second album, people have trouble because all you can talk about is struggling with success. And some people do it really well, like a Take Care, where it's like, yes, you're struggling with success and women and
How your
fame,
life's changed,
and
basically.
your life's changed. But
my life has changed.
You had
Here's
perspective.
the album.
Yeah, but a lot of people can't do that, and it's tough. So that's why I always love when people do take time.
Yeah, but I do want people to go pay close attention to the end of that video.
Oh,
Hints?
okay.
Hints? Anything else you want to say about?
I missed it. I got to go pay close attention
Pay
to
close
it.
attention to the end of that Roddy Ricch video, Survivor's Remorse. It's out right now. Go stream that.
There we go, West Coast.
We are gonna get it more in depth though. We're gonna have we have a talk coming up, so that's gonna be coming.
I'll see y'all get
Let's
those
go.
interviews,
Okay.
man. Can I get an interview out here? What's going on?
Yeah, for sure.
Too much competition out here, man.
All right. Well, we got to talk about the big white elephant in the room.
Yeah, speaking of, when you said that, I was thinking about that, about being genuine and like telling what you were. I was like, this guy, a legend, I feel like for the first time in a long time, has put out a record, and it's like, it's so well received, man. The internet has always been tearing this guy down, one of the icons, one of the greatest rappers of all time. This Marshall Mathers guy, but it's like, I'm very excited to see like the reception to this record of what he put out.
We even got a DJ Hed, I like the M song tweet. That was big.
That's how you know it's big.
That's how you know.
Eminem Houdini, DJ Hed, I like this one.
Bro,
Thank you, Paul Rosenberg. I like this one.
Bro, I've been waiting for M to understand, and this is no disrespect. Eminem used to be my GOAT, right?
Wow, used to
used
be
to.
your GOAT?
In real
Was your
life.
GOAT?
In real life, he used to be my GOAT.
When did that change?
After I knew better.
What does that mean?
Is that disrespectful?
No, I'm just asking when what happened. Like,
Wait, so what year and what age? I
Yeah,
need everything going on here. I need to understand what's going on.
I'm a Marshall Mathers LP guy. I wasn't
am
a
too.
Slim Shady LP guy.
Double XL.
I'm Marshall Mathers LP to
You
the
guys are
core,
tight.
bro.
Yeah.
That was prime time.
So that's 2000. Was that
Me.
2000? 2000's Marshall Mathers LP?
2001.
2001.
No, because Dre came out the year before, right?
No, 99 was Dre.
Okay, so then 2001. It said it 2001 ish, right? But
I think
Marshall
it's 2000. It was 2000.
2000.
Marshall Mathers, yeah.
So Marshall Mathers LP for me changed my
One
life.
of the greatest hip hop albums of all time.
Of all time.
Let's call it what it is.
That changed my life, bro.
How old are you?
I was in 9th grade, I think. 8th grade.
2000, May 23rd.
Yep,
2000.
2000.
I don't remember what grade I was in, bro.
That's dope.
But when that came out, bro, it changed my life because I felt like I could relate. That's why I said until I knew better. I felt like I could relate to Eminem on a different level because he was speaking on things that I was thinking, and I felt like I was crazy for thinking it. Like, you got, I mean, the list goes on for the movie. I mean, for the songs, but then Stan, right? Yeah. Stan to me was one of those records. Like, damn, I didn't know that a rap song could make me feel like this. You got to think. Also, this is probably gonna be a hot take. They're gonna kill me in the comments. I wasn't a fan of hip hop growing up at all.
Really?
No.
When did that switch?
I was a skateboarder in high schok. I listened to all alternative rock. Like I listened to.
I saw you with the Blink 182.
I love Blink 182. Like Mark, Tom, and Travis, like got me through high school, right? So I mean, middle school, whatever it was.
Well, so you're saying the white rapper got you into hip hop?
No, this is after This is after I started getting into hip hop. West Side Connection is what changed my life and got me into hip hop. When I heard that Bow Down intro and make the world bow down to the W, I was like.
That started your West Coast.
I was like, that's exactly how I feel. Yeah.
Yo, who doesn't care?
Yeah.
Shout out to Dub C. Dub C.
When they said, he was like, make the world bow down to the W. I was like, hell yeah. So around this same time is when I started to listen to hip hop. Yeah. And so I went from like Ice Cube, Mac 10, Dub C, Dr. Dre, Eminem, straight in.
Because Dre brought them to the
So you got to think about it. I didn't come up in the Ice Cube era. Right, I didn't come up in the Jay-Z under the Jay-Z thing. So Eminem was the best of those people I just named.
Yeah, with that Dre cosign to the world.
So to me, he was my GOAT because that was like my hip hop bubble. If that makes sense.
Yeah. That's hard. And with this one, you felt like you were
transported back in time, like in the video.
Well, let's explain that. What is the idea of the Slim Shady? Because it's like people that may not know, it's like he would make these records, but the first Eminem single of these albums would be very much the Slim Shady persona, where it's like. He's playing this kind of character side of him, and he's going to critique pop things. And like this case is Meg Thee Stallion or whatever. It's like he's going to take these little jabs at pop culture and the things you're talking about. And it's like this feels very nostalgic, but I'm surprised about how well this landed to today's audience.
It really the only thing that wasn't well received, and it's interesting when you bring that up because he's done this his whole career, was the Megan Thee Stallion line. We could bring it up on screen, but you know him. Double entendreing off of the feature and the foot, incident, obviously. But it was interesting to me to see like a whole new generation of people who maybe aren't as familiar with Slim Shady be like, this is insane. And you're like, if you go back, he said some wilder stuff. But
way wilder.
Is there, this is what I was thinking though too. It's funny because M on these types of songs where it's like the single, it's like a fun. Yeah. He doesn't pick a target that he thinks is gonna rap back at him or clap back at him.
Used to be pop culture
Britney
back in the day.
Spears,
Yeah.
So I don't think this was
the TRL crowd back in the day.
Let me tell you something. This was a fire ass hip hop bar.
The double entendre.
But you know what's funny? I went online. I saw something even on Dreads. Somebody had said that like what we don't realize also is that Meg on the record Hiss, she had a line about Mariah Carey, the Obsessed record. And if we all know the Obsessed record by Mariah Carey also dissed Eminem, complete with a video, like
and
one
that's
of the
probably
best
why he did that, yeah.
So he's like, in some ways he kind of did fire for fire. So
I keep telling you people, like Eminem is no different than Dot. It's no different than all these.
They study this shit.
They see everything.
Yeah.
You might not see them,
like
but they
too.
see everything.
Oh, they see
like that
they.
too.
Yeah.
These
Drake's
rappers
like that, all of them.
These rappers are
the greats are like that.
Extremely petty. They are.
Yeah.
They just are, bro. They
Google their name. They see what's going on.
They know.
And they have a
to
skill
Google
set
it.
to go back at somebody.
Somebody told me, I'm going to say who it was. Somebody told me, like, if I don't see it, somebody sends it to me.
That's true, right? Because you can say I'm not online, right? No matter how famous you are. I don't go online. I don't follow my socials, but somebody going to text you something.
You have a friend.
Some homie going to text you. It's like, you can't control who texts your phone. Somebody got your number. Somebody texted you something. And if somebody got your name, everybody talk about DJ Hed today, you may text DJ Hed and be like, yo, Hed, you know they're tearing you up right now on Instagram, tearing you up on Twitter. Like, somebody going to text your phone. You can't block everybody out.
No.
It's impossible.
Eminem is an elite rapper, an elite MC, and he's extremely petty. If you haven't been paying attention, him and 50 Cent are bedfellows when it comes to pettiness. He's going to get you.
Why are the greats so petty?
That's what makes them great.
The greats are so petty.
That's what makes them great.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch too.
They're gonna see. And I think Eminem, this bar, I don't think he took it. I don't think he's trying to aggressively attack Meg Thee Stallion.
He said it kind of in a soft way.
Yeah,
the way
he
delivered
did.
it.
Yeah,
It's
it
kind of
was,
like,
yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
give you that.
It's like I need to reply. If you mention me in any way, I'm replying.
Yeah, it's hip hop. I'm with that. I like that.
It was funny too.
I like the bar.
Because I think with M, right, the critique has been of M over the last however many years.
Miracle.
Too much that and not enough growth. They're like, we want M's 4
Technical
4 4
rapper.
whatever. But
Double time and all
right.
that. Yeah.
But I think with this, the real great decision on his end was, let me not try to be what everyone thinks I should be. Let me do what I like to do and what I'm great at doing. And that was this. I think it would take a Houdini type magic trick for Eminem to create a 444.
You know,
And I don't think we want that from him, and I don't think he wants to do it. Like, he tried to do it the one time with Walk on Water, and they tore him apart for
With
that.
Beyonce on the joint.
With Beyonce.
Still couldn't
And I
embrace
love that
it.
song. I really did like that song. But I think seeing this...
Go back and listen to that. Tell him, Jeremy. Appreciate
Walk
that
on
record,
Water
man.
was underappreciated and was vulnerable. He said he's insecure sometimes. He said he got critiqued. You know what I mean? But everyone's like, oh, we don't want to hear this from you. No beat on this. Beyonce on the
DOA.
hook.
Dead on arrival.
I liked it. But anyways, my point is, I think M decided, let me be great at what I'm great at. Everyone will love it. And
Bro.
they did. 33 million views on YouTube.
bro, every time I go to my favorite restaurant and they take something I like off the menu, I lose my shit. Every single
Disappointing.
You ain't got that calamari?
100% of the time, stop doing that.
Yeah.
I'm telling artists all the time, you know what I want. Just give me what I want, champ. Give me what I want, and then you can give me whatever you want on the side. But the entree, give me my entree, bro. Stop playing with me. You know what we want, bro. And this is a great. I like this M song.
Yeah, I got so tired of people like kicking Eminem's back in through the years, and like we don't get why this guy's so heralded and he's only successful because he's white. Like that was the energy of the internet, maybe for the last. I'd
Yeah.
say
They give
at
Jack
least 5
Harlow,
years.
they give
Rough
Jack
for
Harlow the
him.
same energy though.
Yo, of course, and it's unfair, and it's just like, yo, Dog is nice. Like, Dog made a bop. Like, he came back, made a bop. He made the fucking Jackman album. I thought was really dope. Like, people slept on that. It's like, talent is talent, man. It's not like this. We just pick some white guy and he's the one. Eminem is ill. He's one of the greatest of all time. And it's like, yes, musical direction of the last couple albums. Yeah, I think it fell a little short. I feel like now he's like gonna embrace his history. We love nostalgia. He's found his pocket. It feels more comfortable, and it's just like great to see people in the modern day like give him his props because like catalog is insane.
Yeah.
Like Hed said, it's like nobody understands like
Which
go back and
catalog?
listen to Eminem in that 50 Cent era, that from the Marshall Mathers to Eminem show.
Encore.
Signing 50 Encore, all the way from Marshall Slim Shady really to Encore. All the other underground shit he did, the Battle with the Source,
The Eminem
with 50
show,
Cent,
yeah.
the Eminem shit, like the 8 Mile soundtrack. Like, that is a run of one of the all-time greats, man. Like, you can't deny his talent. It's not just because he's a white dude. He's ill on the mic. He's incredible. He's one of the greatest of all time, however you slice it. But to see him now, like, finally in this later stage of his career, kind of recapture his history in such a dope way, I'm looking forward to the album.
No, I was just gonna say, like, with this specific record, I hope it's not isolated. Like, I hope we get more of this kind of M throughout the project.
Yep.
If we can, you know. But I just don't want it to be isolated. Like this is just, oh, you get this one, like how Plies used to give us you get Busted Baby and you get Shawty and then the rest of it just goons running in the houses killing niggas. You like, bro, where's Busted Baby at? Like,
Can I go back to that?
Busty Baby Part 2.
Hey, Plies used to run game on us, bro. But to your point though about the catalog, it is exceptional. Except that what Jeremy was saying is true about. I mean, what you were saying is true about people kicking his back in, and his catalog being. It fell on deaf ears, lackluster, because of the depth that he tried to show that he has, and the range and stuff like that. I don't necessarily think it's not that people don't want that from him. I think it's that he didn't give us that, so we didn't get accustomed to it. Yeah. Like you have to build, like as human beings, we live on Earth and there's bacteria. We have to build immunities to bacteria. In order to do that, we have to get exposed to those bacteria. If you want to put out a whole album about how sober you are, motherfucker, you gotta walk me into that. You can't just pop up like, hey, I'm clean. Mm-hmm. Like, shoot me the heads up. You know, shoot me a text. Like, hey, you know, this ain't what you, Andre 3000. Right?
Sprinkle in some flute.
I'm not ready for you to bust out with the flute.
I'm not
this level.
Well, I swear I really wanted to rap. Is that a
pause?
That's
Bust
insane.
out with the flute?
Bro, walk me into it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think and I would love to see this on the new album. He's walked us through certain things throughout his career of him being vulnerable and emotional. You've always had the Mockingbird, the cleaning out my closet. You've had him talking about his issues with his girl, with his family. Sobriety. So I would love to see him do this duo. Maybe there is a Slim Shady persona, and then there's another side of this album where he is really talking about what he's going through as a family man. Maybe, even dealing with some of that critique. I know nobody wants to hear people complain about being at the top, but I think I hate seeing people's legacies shatter just because they're trying to do more. Like, I don't think that should be a thing we do. I think deserved legacy shattering, like a Diddy, for their actions, cool. But for somebody's music to be shattered because they want to continue making music, I think is unfair. We should be more appreciative of what Eminem has given us over the years, what Jay-Z has given us over the years.
I agree.
What these people have done, what Nas is, cool. They might not hit everything, but
it was dope to see the growth. Like even like talking about his daughter Haley, like she's this like mythical little girl, and now she's a grown woman. She just got married, and now she's out and she's creating a video mocking the whole like, what do you say fuck me for? Because he said fuck the family.
Yeah.
And just to see that, it's like, yo, dog, like he's contributed a lot to the culture, and it's like to see the growth of it to this level. I think it's amazing.
I'm an Eminem fan through and through. I haven't been a fan of the recent works, but I'm really excited to see him in his bag again and see what his offering is, to be honest with you.
Me too. Shout out to him.
Yes, sir.
Well,
what?
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, they really wanted to see
They want to know. You
what
just answered it.
What you thought. I think it was how you thought Slim
I
Shady
think
was
the
gonna
internet
fit
didn't know what a
into-
big Eminem fan DJ Hed was and didn't know the origin story.
I'm a
huge.
huge Eminem fan. The state of this expectation, and my expectation on the Slim Shady, on the death of Slim Shady.
Like how you think Slim Shady's character is going to fit into
Shady,
this.
that's like
Slime
young.
Shady
And it's
is
crazy in
young-
Sarah, right, Jeremy? Correct me if
That's
I'm
like
wrong. So I
Young
feel like
Thug or
expectation
somebody.
isn't even really based off record sales anymore, right? It's not like, oh, M did 100K the first week. Like, I don't think anybody cares. It's more the idea of like, heard the album, oh shit, this shit is good. Like, whatever that means for you and whatever, like, word of mouth or like, I feel like a success now is so like different of like, what is deemed successful, right? Is there a number that Eminem has to do first week
No.
to be deemed a successful
He
person?
just broke all the records.
Yeah.
He's done it already. Like I don't.
That 50 era of like the sound scan and this is what success is. It's just
that
like,
shit's over with.
Yeah.
We don't need that anymore. It's just about perception or whatever.
And what it means to your legacy. We need a good quality Eminem album
I agree with you.
to add to his legacy.
My expectation is that this is going to be that. I don't think that it's going to be like relapse or release therapy or not release. That's
Recovery.
Ludacris. Recovery.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
I
But
liked Recovery.
you did?
I did. I mean,
The
granted,
recovery was big. for him.
Recovery. So I didn't like Relapse. And then when I heard Recovery, I know a lot of people got on Not Afraid and they thought it was too commercial, but
That was huge for him.
I actually really liked
That's
that
a great
album.
record.
I think Not Afraid was cool, but to me, so you also have to understand, I'm spoiled. Like
You
Eminem,
got to live through that.
Eminem, Dr. Dre, like Jay-Z, like these people spoiled us with amazing bodies of work. Snoop Dogg, bro, these people spoiled us with bodies of work that are classics, bro. Like you can't just do that to me. You can't do that and then give me a couple of records and be like, yeah, the rest of it is just no, bro. Like I have an
This ain't 2001.
I have an expectation of you're literally one of the
This ain't the
greatest
blueprint.
to ever do this thing that we do. I want that. Like,
Yeah.
give me that. So I think this Eminem album is gonna be actually pretty good, to be honest with you. I think this Houdini record, I don't like him disappearing and like this is my last album. I don't like that talk because time
They
and
do it all
time
the
again,
time, yeah.
people retire and then they pop up and I just put an album out, bro.
I think Joe Budden is the only rapper to ever say they're retiring and actually stay retired.
It's the same.
Is there anyone
I
else?
tried to coax him out through the years. I feel like
Yeah, I don't know what it would take to get him there.
I got to send him a beat pack or something. I was like, get
But
him
like
out of there.
Logic,
But why though?
Eminem, Jay-Z, because they love to
No,
rap.
why do you think he stayed retired?
Because he's so successful in not rapping that he's like, why would I
He
want
think
all that trouble?
he'll lose his focus. I think he fears
Yeah.
if he steps out and tries to do both, he'll lose his focus on the bread and butter and what he's great at, which is building this new media career. I think it's smart of him. You see to this day, what does Cameron do? Even today, it's like, oh,
Still spitting.
homeboy dissed me. I'm just going to spit my freestyle. Like, they're still in him. Nori is still in him. Joe's done a great job of, like, keeping that part of him buried because I feel like he feels like it's going to take away from what he's trying to do in the media space.
I don't think it would, though. I think he thinks that.
Tell him, Jeremy.
But I think, listen, Joe, if you drop a project right now, it would be your highest selling album, highest
It
selling
would distract
single.
him, Jeremy.
It would be.
You don't know what it's like because the thing is, like, those guys, like, even though it's like, they've had, like, Heck can speak to this, like, you don't know what it's like to, and I don't know what it's like. None of us here know what it's like to be an artist and have, like, that hit record.
Be chasing
the
that.
addictive, like, drug that is of, like, pump it up, a super thug. Like, so I think he doesn't want to chance it. It's almost the opposite. Like, what if it does get well received? And this is amazing. It's like, then I got to keep delivering that. Or I could go on the road, I could tour this, and then I could do my pump it up classics. Like, it pulls you into a way of, like, it changes, alters your life and what
you were. What if it wasn't I'm not thinking a record. I'm not thinking, like, trying to be a hit. I'm thinking addressing everything, addressing the beefs on a song. All the people that he's beefed with over the last 10 years.
If it hits hard, it changes it. If Nori catches a hit, Drink Champs is over.
Yeah, he might.
If Cam catches a hit, that sports shit is over. They're gone.
Cam is back on the road.
That drugs you right back to that, because then you already have catalog, right? So if you catch one in this era,
then it is.
I look at artists like Fat Joe, right? And Joe's a legend. He catch one every time.
Yeah.
You can't count him out, right? E40. I look at E40 and Joe as a kin, right? Joe is the East Coast version of 40. They're both legends. Both got catalog. Both got fans from 15 to 50.
Business moguls.
Right? So, to his point, in the record business, you can't really exist in both spaces like that if you have motion up to that magnitude. Now, as a fan, you can want that Joe Budden album all you want to. That ain't gonna happen. But I don't want that though. Because all of the dressing and all that shit you talking about, he could just do that in 15 minutes on the show and be done with it.
And not have.
And we don't need the music, bro. We don't need that. A lot of times, you forget. A lot of people do music as a form of expression. Like mood
you have
music.
The ultimate platform.
Yeah, mood music and shit was him expressing. He didn't have an outlet.
He's mood music in every motherfucking Wednesday
and he is the
Saturday.
he is the greatest at doing that and is able to express it.
So I don't need the music.
This is what I love about show. Joe Budden wasn't on the docket, and we just get to Joe Budden. That's why the bigger picture is supreme, man. Come on, talk to us.
Okay,
talk to us nicely, Jeremy.
Let's close out on some good old negativity. Okay,
oh,
no,
Lord.
I'm just kidding. But we are talking about BIA and Cardi B.
Lord, female rap beef.
Unfortunately, so last time, and you know what's funny on the topic list at first, what I wrote was female unity, and I wrote
Head
Glow.
wanted that.
Yeah, Head wanted
Head
the
everybody
tour.
on the road. You had all the ladies on the road.
I was about to text you and be like, look, they did it. Glow, Megan, and Cardi, they're all going together. Maybe she'll pop out on the tour. Yeah.
The Madison Square Garden.
All good. And then I listened to the verse and I said, oh, nobody want to be okay. All right. We have smoke
why the
here.
female rappers, so Megan's on tour, we're in Madison Square Garden, GloRilla's the opening act. They bring Cardi out. It's the We Are the World. It's your favorite. It's like, let's say the top 2 or 3.
I said all the
Nicki's
women.
number 1. Nicki's number 1 right now. Cardi's number 2. Meg's number 3. GloRilla's number 4. My top 4, right?
Lotto 5?
Lotto 5. I'll go with that. They're on stage. The unified moment. Oh, my God. Madison Square Garden, the Mecca. I'm from New York. The Mecca. You got Meg, sold out. Meg, GloRilla. Bring out Cardi. The crowd goes crazy. BX's own Cardi. The wannabe remix is being teased and stuff. It's just like, and then you hear the record, and she's kicking another female MC's back in, kicking Bia's back in on the joint, man. These female rappers can't unify, DJ Hed.
I have a hot take that I'm not willing to share about female overarching female unity, because I still like existing in spaces. But fuck you want me to say?
Listen, we'll save you for
Jeremy,
now.
So people are confused at home. Jeremy, you said you've traced this whole Cardi B, Bia conflict.
Yes.
I'm lost a little bit. So
okay, let me explain why Bia and Cardi are beefing to some point. There may be certain things in the comments you can let us know if we're missing some of this history. But to my knowledge, this dates back a little while. Okay, so Bia always was no stranger to being a Cardi fan. She's tweeting like, let's do a Spanish remix of this song. We gotta work together.
She came out as a Cardi fan.
Yeah, so she was saying like love to Cardi B, okay?
Yep.
Then Nicki gets on the remix A Whole Lot of Money. This is 2021.
True.
Obviously, they have their issues at the top. But more than that, Bia deletes a bunch of her tweets. All the Cardi tweets.
Bigging up Cardi.
Anything mentioning Cardi, gone.
And I remember also that Nicki and Bia did a live thing, and it was like, you know, hey, you make reference tracks for people? It's like, oh, I make reference tracks for people. Yes, I rap. Blah, blah, blah. It was like a lot of subliminal
shots,
stuff going on.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm the writer.
That.
Yeah. So, you know, Cardi obviously sees you deleted all the tweets. I'm sure she took it a certain way, but also may understand, okay, well, you're on the other side. Yeah. You're on the other team. Okay, cool.
As Elliott Wilson knows, you can't be a Nicki supporter and a Cardi B supporter. It's impossible.
I am.
I mean, we all are, but it's not allowed in the court of Nicki Minaj.
I am.
Yeah. I like both. But so that happens. That's why the reference on Wanna Know remix where she says a tweet and deleting type.
Oh, wow. So she's referring to that.
She's referring to Beef.
Way back. Okay.
So
look at Jeremy. That's why we need Jeremy, baby.
This is the Beef history. So after that, a couple things happen where BIA takes a look at what Cardi's doing and says, you're kind of copying me. Yeah. You're turning from Cardi B to Cardi BIA is what she's thinking, okay? She sees
say it again, Jeremy.
From Cardi B to Cardi BIA, okay? There's a music video where, and again, we can talk about it after. I don't think Cardi's sitting there being like, look at this BIA video, let's do the same thing. I think maybe people around, there's clear back-to-back if you look at the videos, but their art direction is very similar, their outfits are very similar, the shots they use, there was a very specific shot of their boots and their heels on the camera from underneath.
Boots in the heels, Head.
Wearing the same thing, okay? Listen, this is how deep this goes, pause. So there's that, and then there's the same Missy Elliott record that they both end up sampling.
She's a bitch first. BIA did, to her credit.
And then Cardi,
produced by Timbaland. And then Cardi's big return was the Like What freestyle where she flipped the same beat. So it's like, hey, don't you show respect? You know, BIA did her thing on that record before.
Yeah.
Do we act like that didn't exist?
And so is it this some big ploy of Cardi trying to copy? I don't know, but BIA kind of takes notice and says that, and she throws some shots Cardi's way on the Dub remix where she says, I forget the exact bar, but she says you're trying to copy me or you're trying to be me or whatever, and then that's why Cardi says nobody want to be a. She's basically referencing that and replying to that. So then we get Cardi's verse, and then BIA jumps out and does a whole.
Well, even the Cardi Enough, doesn't she feel like she bit some of her
her
ad-libs on the Enough record? The Cardi Enough record, BIA feels like certain pockets and certain
flows, and that's the same. That's the same one with the music video where it looked very similar.
Okay,
I think that's why the flow too. When Cardi got at BIA on the song, she was using her flow. Like, I heard you on the shelf, IKEA. Ain't nobody want to be a. No, she's using the flow, okay? I don't know the lyrics word for word.
Bickering beef with the females.
So where we are today is, you know, they did apparently get on a phone call, and they apparently, you know, talked it out somewhat.
Cardi got receipts, Head.
But BIA's claiming some things on the record. She claimed that Cardi cheated on Offset. She kept repeatedly saying that. She says, you know, talks about I'm going at Party, as in Partisan Fontaine, who writes for Cardi B. But the song wasn't that well received. You posted, you said it was 3 million views.
I did a little clip of the song, the last part where she's talking about me and my girls don't like your tattoos or whatever shit. Like, on my feed, it got 3 million views, and most of the comments was like 90% negative towards BIA. Look, BIA's dope. I like BIA a lot. I think she's very talented as an artist. It just doesn't seem like it's landed well, this whole conflict with her and Cardi. Like, it wasn't well received, the record she did back at them, like the Sue Me record. And it's funny in this era where it's like, I was saying this earlier to you guys before we got on mic, it's like, in this era now, it's like, because the public is so like in tune with social media, when a record comes out, you could almost ride the wave of the reaction. So it's like, if you're Cardi, you're like, hey, I dissed her on this Wanna Be remix. She clapped back at me on the Sue Me record. I'm ready to go back at her because, like, okay, bitch, let's battle. But then when the public says, that's not it, then you kind of pull ceasefire, like, oh, I'm winning.
She might have called off the truth.
Like, I don't need that. Like, go back to the Wanna Be, like, let me rap my verse again from the Wanna Be remix. Like, I'm still winning because the public said that's ass. Like, it's not good. So it's a weird era we're in where it's like the public really kind of dictates kind of the pacing of the battles right now.
Yeah.
I don't think the Sue Me record is good.
Yeah.
But it's interesting space though, because thank you for that history, by the way.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Thank
you, Jeremy.
You're welcome. The beef explanation.
The beef whisperer.
The beef whisperer. No, but I think that BIA has a tall order in front of her.
Woo! Talk to him
What does
nicely,
she need
Hed.
to do?
Because the thing is, like, B is talented, right?
Very talented.
Very.
I think Cardi has an edge on her when it comes to not necessarily talent, but experience in doing this thing, right? Whether it be music, beefing,
Being in the
music,
public eye.
being a celebrity, whatever it is.
Dealing with all the fervor of like everybody at you, like
Yeah.
the
Correct.
whole energy of that shit.
So B is a young gun coming in the game. Like, she's still relatively new, but she's coming in the game and she's, you know, like,
She firing.
She firing.
Oh.
I'm hot. Cool. Credit for that.
Knock the door down.
Credit. However, as we've seen time and time again, this is an experience game, and the more experience usually you have, the better off you are in the end. The better prepared you are, the better off you are in the end. Cardi has learned her lessons and bumped her head over and over and over. She's had more lawsuits than we could probably name, right? both ways. Her being sued, she's suing other motherfuckers, right? Cardi she said it on her live. Like, I will sue you.
And she probably meant it.
For defamation of character. For Bia to double down knowing the cloth that Cardi's cut from at this stage in her career, Tasha K still trying to figure that out. Paying whatever that is off, right?
But do you lose points for bringing lawsuits to a rap beef?
It depends.
It
Because
depends if you want to put hands and feet on you outside of it,
You
which
do
she's
both.
willing to do also.
I look
Her
at
and
this.
her man.
I look at this.
100%.
I look at this like a Drake situation.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because Bia has put herself in a position where I don't think she has a win. Either way. It could be, or three ways, right? It could be beefing with Cardi. And let's say everything is true. Cardi has a team. How you one man, you can't get on the court as Elliott Wilson and play against the Knicks. It's 5 people. So if Cardi has the Avengers and you are writing all of your own shit, you're at a disadvantage, right? Second thing, streets. Sets. I know some of the people that Offset frequents, right? They willing to
Community
crash
leaders.
out at any moment. Any moment, right?
Gentlemen.
So when it comes to the streets thing, then
well,
when
to be fair, Cardi said that. It's like
that's
you know,
a fact.
yeah,
I'll
100%.
later, I'll tell you. 3, right? 3, when it comes to the lawsuit thing, I don't think no one is gonna care at this point if Cardi sues her for defamation of character. No one is gonna take away Cardi's hip hop credit. They don't give it to her anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So how is this a win?
I'm
for
gonna
Bia?
get you both ways. I'm gonna get you to the system. I'm gonna get you outside the system. That's what she's saying.
I don't look at this as a win, as a winnable thing for Bia outside of her having assistance from, like, if Nicki jumps in or somebody. She needs help.
She's not.
I think it was a winnable situation before this song dropped. I think if she would have been a little more tactical, like you were talking about off camera, about her being a
Experience.
little bit emotional,
She jumped out too fast.
and getting same with, and that's happened, you know, in many a beefs where people kind of jump out where they're not prepared. But for Bia, I don't think she needed the full song. I think if she would have waited and directly shot at Cardi on a feature, maybe with some help, like you said, with some other people.
Like Cardi did.
Like Cardi did. I don't think it needed to go here. And if you were going to go here, you got to go. But I think if this song was what it could have been, like a hit in terms of shots that really, really had to be addressed by Cardi, I think Bia's up. I think, wow, not that people looked at Cardi like the greatest MC ever, but I think it really could have elevated Bia to that top level.
Okay, let me ask you a question, and I'm not meaning this to be inflammatory. Whole Lot of Money is Bia's record.
Yeah,
Okay, what's another hit that Bia has put out?
the London with J. Cole.
Okay, give me another one.
We're just going to go down the list. Does Bia have a third hit? I don't know that she has a third hit.
Okay, so Whole Lot.
She does have a couple big TikTok songs and like that are there, but not necessarily.
But you're
on those
saying
levels.
if she would have put out this monster record, that, to me, again, that's a Drake thing. If Drake would have put out the monster thing, then it would have been different. It's no different to me, bro. Like, if you swing, they have this thing called Test Your Knockout, right? Where it's really an ignorant ass game that people play in the hood. You just walk up to people and you swing, and if you knock them out, you obviously you test your knockout. But then now if you don't knock them out, now you got to fight this big ass dude who you just swung on, right? That's
It's a bad night.
it's a bad day. When you swing, you better knock this
Better not
person.
miss.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it
Well,
wasn't
that's
a
the
knockout.
difference of like the level
And
of
so
career.
what I'm
It's like,
saying is,
yo,
when it comes to this record, bro, she put out this record. It's not a knockout punch, and so now you're at the mercy of, you have to figure it out in real time. As opposed to if you delivered the blow, then it was like, oh yeah, she knocked Cardi out with that one. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like that was a not like us moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, again, look, I deal with her. Like, I've dealt with her communication wise. Like I have respect for B. I think she's dope.
I respect for her
she's
too.
A talented artist on the come up, but the whole approach to this I think is wrong. Like I don't, especially being married, I don't like the whole thing of like taking the artwork of Offset comments and whatever it is, like to play into somebody's marriage. It's like you're not married yourself. It's like, why do that? Like it's not necessary. It's messy, and I didn't like that part of it. And at the same time, it's like, as we kind of were saying earlier, it's like, yo, let's put some respect on Cardi B's name. It's like, yo, Invasion of Privacy,
Classic.
2017 classic album. It's like it should be talked about with Miseducation, Lauryn Hill. It's like, you know, I think Nicki's *1 right now.
Said what?
I was gonna maybe slow down on that.
You
one.
said what?
No, in terms of classic albums, they're both classic albums. Miseducation, Lauryn Hill's a classic album. You can say it's better than Invasion of Privacy.
There's tiers to the
But
classic.
They're in the classic sandwich club. They're all they're on there. Here's the thing. I would say this. I said there hasn't been a greater female rap album since that.
Since which
Invasion of Privacy.
Oh yeah.
With all respect to Nicki, like I like her last album.
No, that's fair.
And I think Nicki's #1. And shout out to Onika. You know, she's the queen. She's the GOAT. The tour, the sold out dates. She solidified her spot as #1 right now. I think Cardi is too, like I said. But you can't take away Invasion of Privacy as the last body of work by a female rapper to be at that standard.
I agree with you.
Heights, yeah.
And that's 2017. So no matter what you say about Cardi, whether she came back, well, like, put some respect on that.
I agree with you.
Like, there's 2 diamond records on that motherfucker. It's Thriller. It's got nothing but hit records on that. So Cardi is Cardi. So you're not at that level career-wise. You have a lot to get to. And it's just like, nah, it's like that didn't land the way it was supposed to land. You know, don't lean into the marriage shit. I don't think that's cool. And it's like, it's crazy in this era where it's like now because the public said it didn't land right, Cardi don't even respond to you.
I don't think
she shouldn't reply. It's like it's the -2 reply at this point.
Well, Cardi did reply on her live.
On IG, yeah.
She just basically said, like, oh, you want to play? Like, we could play, but I'm not going to make a record.
Yeah, because the
public
has your back. Yeah, the public has your back.
Yeah.
She said,
but okay, let's play that aspect of it. No matter what, is that whack? Is that non-hip-hop to sue? Like,
no. You can't tell.
Does that violate the rules of hip-hop? Like,
it depends.
You going to sue me, DJ Hed? You going to sue Elliott Wilson? You going to sue me,
It depends on
dog?
what you do. You goddamn right. It depends on what you do.
Suing hip-hop.
You know how much money I pay in
it's
taxes?
Suing hip-hop.
I'm for sure using the judicial system to execute with extreme prejudice, expeditiously. What you talking
it's
about?
Suing hip-hop, Jeremy.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not the
yes.
Is that
the authority
culture?
on that one.
Is suing part of the culture?
It depends on what you do. I'm not a see. This is the misconception about hip hop and streets. Nobody knows that if B is identifies as a street person. I know Cardi's lineage. I know who. I know her.
Hello.
I know her people. I got stories, personal stories. I know what she
That's
owns.
what I'm saying.
She's not playing when she says it either.
Cardi's not playing about
anything.
Yo,
she says.
Cardi
said-
will put hands and feet on you.
Yeah.
Cardi
and still sue
is
you.
not.
She's not the one.
Cardi is like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And her man's like that.
and Seth is like that, and his people is like that.
Yeah, everybody around.
So
And her people is like
I don't know Bia. I know Bia from the East Coast and stuff like that, but I don't know her lineage and where she comes from. I'm not educated on that. I won't speak on that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is the conflation of the two is not mutually exclusive. If somebody says to you,
I like this guy.
what?
No, like
But-
you're a
but
poet.
so
So
how-
listen.
Okay,
Let me explain.
Yeah, please.
If you don't identify as a member of the criminal underworld, meaning you have forego your rights as an American citizen to press charges or enter the judicial system, then I can sue your motherfucking ass. You goddamn right. Now, if I identify as a person of the street, a street person, a gang member, or whatever, that means that I have participated in crimes against the law and therefore taken an oath against those things, then I can't participate in. DJ Hed, don't commit crimes. I'm a taxpaying American citizen.
So civilians, we can get it off.
I'm a civilian. I'm a non-affiliate, which means I'll sue the fuck out you. Facts. Now, what other entities do, whether it be in my defense, I can't speak to that. Aaron Drake,
Yeah.
DJ Hed, I'm suing your ass. Facts.
So then
Yeah,
why-
because this suing doesn't mean that other extracurricular activities may not be going on. It's like that doesn't mean it's just one line.
West Coast.
But why was it so? Why was it so looked down? He pans to the side. Why was it so looked down on during the K-Dot Drake beef when he said, like that. What you mean? You don't like that record? Because they were talking about the cease and desist. But that was viewed as like, this isn't hip hop, Drake. So why is that so different than now?
It's not different because, one, you're talking about just music business. Music business happens all the time. Just like shout out to Camila Cabello.
You did say
Remember
that a few weeks
You
ago.
can't wait till those records drop.
Yeah,
Shout
you did say.
You feel so invested to those records, man.
Shout out to Camila. Justice for Camila. Those Camila
There we go. You getting those Drake records.
Those
They're coming.
Cabello
They're
records,
coming.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just music business. That's not the same thing. If I make a threat against you, like, hey, I'm gonna do this to you, that's different. Or if we're beefing, then I make a threat or an advancement against your person, your entities, or anything like that. That's different. Music business is separate from street shit. Yeah. It's just music business. Yeah. We might record an interview with DaBaby, and then the label will be like, hey, hold this until the record come out. That's just music business. That's not like we're trying to hide something or it's just business, and people don't understand the difference. I don't expect them to.
The last thing on this that I thought was interesting to bring it full circle with the reference tracks is BIA's this big champion of her pen, right? Even on the Sue Me, it said Sue Me, and there was a pen emoji or a pencil emoji.
She's a rapper.
She's a rapper.
All the bars.
But
yeah, that was good. I like that.
If you do remember, there was the Lotto reference tracks that leaked for BIA's songs. And so I thought it was this weird... it was an interesting place to see of somebody like, championing the pen, but we don't know what those reference tracks meant. We don't know what we talked about earlier. What was the collaborative process?
To these damn reference
and
tracks.
So the reference tracks kind of throw me off here. Can you call someone out for ghostwriters if you've used writers to some degree?
Well, that
with
seemed like that
tracks?
record. There's a whole lot of money. Like that idea was being like presented to a variety of female MCs to take this idea and make it into something. And it seemed like Lotto, I think, was attached to it. Yeah. Like the whole concept.
This is a spoiler alert for all you music nerds.
Let's get it.
Music gets shopped all the time.
Yeah.
It's a regular occurrence, Monday through Friday.
So the whole lot of money record was shopped. The idea of that record.
I don't know that to be sure, to be facts. But what I'm saying is records get shopped all the time. French Montana actually said that with the record with him and Sway Lee. Unforgettable.
Yeah.
Somebody passed on that. Not gonna say, somebody passed on the record.
Ooh, that person is sick.
Sick.
Diamond song. That person might have nightmares. They might have nightmares waking up every night. Diamond record. Unforgettable.
Sway Lee lays a hook.
Right? Unforgettable?
Yes. Sway Lee lays a hook. People go out and be like,
how do you hear that and not rock with that? How do you pass on that?
I can see somebody passing on that. I can see the person who passed on that. But Sway Lee lays the hook, and then the producer goes out and say, hey, what do you think about this record? All you got to do is do your verses.
Montana said, boom.
I have a homie who passed on a Chris Brown record, Cleared. Chris Brown did a record. They gave it to him like, hey, just do your verses. The record done. It's
set up.
Gone. It's already cleared. They already signed off everything. I don't want. I pass.
Scared.
This is standard practice in the music business. This is not something that's so far-fetched that people can't.
It's the process of creating a hit record.
Yeah, so if there's a Lotto attached to the record or all these different people attached to the record, that's not far-fetched.
So I guess, Jeremy, you're questioning whether or not if BIA's biggest breakthrough was a song that was like out there, whole lot of money, a concept reference to the world. She took it and made it what it was and succeeded with it. Is it still kind of like you can't point your finger at it because, like, girl, you needed this to kind of be the thing to bring you into the conversation?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah,
but it's interesting. But I think learning that even growing up, I remember Atlantic. They used to do this a lot where
Mike Karen,
right? And they had like a lot of like the big B.O.B. or Lupe records. Some
Lupe
of those,
didn't want to do the record.
Yeah. And I remember learning that. I was like, wait, they're not just in the studio.
Yes, people don't know. It was nothing about clarity for people watching. Nothing about you.
Nothing about Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars hook.
Yeah.
Before Bruno Mars became
B.O.B.
Bruno Mars.
At that time, B.O.B. was the bigger artist.
He was. So, but Lupe had the option of taking that record. He didn't want that record with that hook placement. He passed on it. B.O.B. took the record. He embraced it. Big hit for B.O.B. Nothing About You. Bruno Mars.
I would say something, but I'm not gonna say it.
West Coast.
There's a record that Kendrick gave to somebody. That ended up becoming a huge hit record. He gave it to him.
Did he? What was his? He just.
How does
didn't
he feel
like
about
it hit.
I don't know how he feels about it.
Kendrick seems like there's the story of I think it was the RDC guys who he said Kendrick DM'd him an idea for a skit and said, don't credit me. I just want you to do this skit. And he said it was a viral skit. So Kendrick seems like the type of guy, like you said, he's noticing everything, and maybe he just likes playing A&R. Maybe he just likes
he'll do stuff like that. He'll just do something for somebody and don't want to, like he's done. I know a couple of things that he's done, and you'll never hear see the light of day of it because he don't want that. That's not what he does it for. He's just, hey, here. And this record changed this artist's career.
Wow.
I love that shit.
Shout out to Kendrick. Well, let's close with some positivity because we were just talking about a lot of rap beef. You spoke to Alchemist, Hit Boy, and Big Hit over the weekend.
DJ Hed be outside, baby.
I'll be outside,
West Coast.
And you said it was an emotional experience.
So what's dope? Okay, so first of all, shout out to Hit Boy and his dad, Big Hit, and Alchemist. They put out a project.
The Hollis family.
They put out a project, Black and Whites, and it's basically like Black and Whites. It's a reference to paperwork and stuff like that. Officially, Big Hit has been home from that institution just over a year.
Shout out Big Hit.
And so I was just referencing like, shout out to Big Hit, man. Oh, shout out to
Hit Boy, of course.
So what happened was when he first got out of prison, I mean, he wasn't even out a week yet. You know, Hit Boy had me come to the studio. He was like, I just want to just how you talk to my dad, see what we working on, tell me what you think. He trusts me like that. So I'm like, all right. So I meet Big Hit. Big Hit was just fresh out, bro. Like I'm talking about like
how many years he did over a decade,
I mean,
right?
total Big Hit has done over 30 years in prison. All in.
Yep.
So he spent more than half of his life behind bars, right?
Yes, sir.
So what's dope is when I went to go talk to him, like we were having a conversation. To be honest with you, I don't even think I'm qualified to have. Like we were having a conversation that was not for me, right?
Not my jurisdiction.
This is not shit I'm not supposed to be talking about. And I was just like, damn, like he was just ready. He was showing me stuff in his phone, like
because he had been working on records.
I'm ready.
Time.
He was showing me other
Lyrics.
stuff, like. I'm ready to go go do what I know how to do.
Okay.
And I'm just like, bro, just do the music, like give Hit a chance to like coach you through this. And he was just like, he wasn't really hearing it, but he agreed I'm gonna give it a shot. And so full circle, I just hosted the premiere for Black and White. They shot a mini doc. Hit just ended up going back to jail in North Carolina for a brief stint. We can't talk about why, but he got caught up in North Carolina. He ended up going and doing like, I think it was like 2 months in North Carolina. So they just released document a small doc about that stint from top of the year to about right now. Literally, they were editing up until the day before it came out. And it's right up until the moment. And it shows you the legal processes, all the stuff they had to go through. Yeah. So it was dope to just see Big Hit on stage as I'm talking to him, smiling. And that's the first thing I brought up when we sat down. Like, hey, I just want to point out that you're smiling. Like, when I met you, you were not smiling at all. You didn't have not a smile for me at all. And he just felt good, and he was amongst his people. And I'm like, bro, you a rapper now. Like, you know, that's dope.
Artist,
like, you're an artist now. It's not you just the street homie, or you're not Big Hit. You're not Hit Boy's dad. You're an artist, and then people respect you. And I really like that element of that full circle moment for him, because it's damn near a year to the day when we did that.
Yeah. Wow. I love the Alchemist connection too, of like him.
Shout out to Alchemist.
Yeah, he's like the cousin or something, right? Like he really just is like extra, like added to that family structure, like. And we never seen that. Like the daughter's rapping now too, right?
Yep,
like,
Hit Girl Lena. What's dope is Big Hit didn't even know Alchemist was white.
Yeah, I saw that.
Really?
He had no idea. It was like, yeah, I'm finna go to the studio with Alchemist, and Big Hit is like, and somebody was like, oh, Alchemist, the white dude. He like, nah, I'm finna go with Alchemist, the producer. And it's like hilarious. It's in the documentary, but yeah, go check that out. Black and White.
Why is that the biggest compliment when they don't know you're white?
Yeah, I think usually
Larry Bird. Oh my God, he's amazing.
They always know I'm white when they hear
it was
me.
It was just
dope enough to not be white.
Thank you.
Oh, there you go. It was just a really dope like story, full circle moment.
Yeah.
So,
because I was wondering, because I was like, I saw he had that look. Like obviously, I saw the whole thing of him coming home and being cool with Hit Boy. It's like, and then I felt like, oh my God, like he got caught up again, like with some other shit. Like,
yeah. So they went back.
Is it gonna be all right? Like,
so I'll give you this, and because we didn't record the sit down that we had, so I could say it, but Hit Boy's grandma passed. Big Hit's mom passed, and I brought it up on Style like, yo, isn't it ironic that you guys got back together? Y'all are a family now. Big Hit is involved in Hit Boy's son's life, so now you got the 3 generations.
Chauncey is the second.
Yeah, C3. And so,
C3,
like,
Chauncey the third.
and so now you guys are together, and then your mom is like, okay, I can go now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At
It was
peace.
just like
Yeah.
she's at
Yeah.
peace, and
And they say people wait for those moments too.
right. So Hit Boy brought that up. He said, yeah, I think that grandma was waiting until we got the family right, and then she feel like, okay, I can rest now. And
Yeah.
so it ended up being a full circle moment for them because he hadn't gone back to see his mom, and she's out there in North Carolina too. So him getting incarcerated all over again was reason for them to go out there and fight Big Hit's case, but then go see his mom too.
Wow.
So before
That's
she
dope.
passed. So
That's
it was a dope moment.
Yeah, that's
Shout hit,
super,
man.
Yeah, shout out to the
Solid
family.
family, man. Hollis.
All right, let's close out with some comments from last time.
Woo,
We
what they
had
saying, Jeremy?
listen. We'll start with the positive. We had people who were very happy that this show exists, and we just want to thank everybody
Only
who's
hip-hop
been
debate
watching.
show out here.
We had somebody who
Bigger
said,
picture.
"Also, I'm really glad y'all are taking this and running with it. Every ep gets better." And
Yeah.
then somebody said, "Man, I'm hella enjoying their conversation. I'm glad this is a thing."
Thank
So
you.
we're
I
happy to be
appreciate
here.
you.
So we don't have to yell and do like the
main-
podcast theatrics and shit. Like, yo, Hit, you bugging, Hit.
Yeah,
Yo,
no.
Head, you bugging, man.
No, yeah, this
No?
is the great thing is this is really just hip hop talk. This is
Yeah.
music conversation, and I think a lot of the space has to be headlining or like you said, somebody has to be yelling about something or saying something.
We're not
salacious,
chasing
but-
views. We're just building something we feel is like pure and organic and lacking in the space right now, honestly.
Yeah, shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate the comment section showing me love. They was telling me at DX, they was like, yeah, people fuck with you in the comments. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Because my comments look way different. But I appreciate you.
They
you know?
did agree with me on the Jay Electronica thing though. More
I
than
don't
you,
have a
think.
problem. Okay, let me clarify.
Let's
I
go to
don't-
Mexico and see Jay Electronica. Y'all ready? You can't go to Toronto.
I'm willing to
but
go.
I can go to Mexico
You
with
can go
y'all.
to
You ready?
I'll go sit and talk to Jay Elect.
All right.
I didn't say that Jay Electronica wasn't dope.
You just said you didn't like him.
I said I'm not a fan. That's not a crime.
No, it's not.
He not a fan. He not a fan.
Yeah. All right, what do we have next in the comments? We had a couple more. Oh yeah, somebody said Elliott looks like he's in Bernie Mac's house.
I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
I didn't know either.
Oh, they're talking about when he would do them talking head videos on the Bernie Mac show. Listen, America, like you.
Oh, yeah.
The way
Hey,
you,
bro.
yeah.
How these motherfuckers hip hop?
Talking to the people.
All right. That's some old head shit. Old head jab. I get you.
What else?
The white boy is questionable.
No, he's not.
Listen,
No, he's not.
I just didn't know what the question was.
The white
You know what I
boy-
mean, what are we?
The white boy is exclamation point. You know what I'm saying? He's not questionable.
Put a period next.
The
to me,
white
okay?
boy is
Questionable.
questionable.
Nah, man.
Listen, they don't know, but they will know.
That's why I
I'll
put
say
the
it
white-
on my
Talk,
pad.
King.
Put the-
I'm just saying, some people who have no idea, like, why is this?
Ooh,
Why is
talk
this
to him,
kid
Jeremy.
sitting up
break the
here?
resume
Let me
down.
break it down.
Talk to him.
Okay,
Hey.
I've been in music media for 8 years.
Okay.
Ooh, did a solid
I
A up in his bitch.
interned for J. Cruz and Power 106.
Woo.
I wrote a lot of interview questions behind the scenes.
Okay. Ghost
I've-
wrote.
Ghost wrote.
Ghost wrote
You a
those
ghostwriter.
interviews.
I was a ghostwriter.
Non-accredited ghostwriter.
Non-credited ghostwriter. Okay, I got
Hello.
to
Talk to him.
learn there. I did Before They Were Famous, a YouTube channel for a year and a half, multiple millions of views, got memed a couple times, learned how to deal with it. It still pops up every once in a while. And then I came to HipHopDX. Behind the scenes was, again, ghostwriting questions. And then due to the fact that somebody couldn't show up to interview Jeezy, I happened to have all the questions.
Snowman, I'm ready.
I
I'm ready,
interviewed
Snowman.
Snowman.
Snowman interviewing Snowman.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
there we go. There we go.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't
And,
front on our Snowman, man. Don't try to front on
I
our
didn't.
Snowman.
I didn't just.
No, he was
Wakanda
Snowman.
forever, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. But yeah, so yeah, I've been on the red carpets. I've been
Yo,
behind
he
the
should be the
scenes. So
Snowman.
that's
You're going for he's the Snowman.
the
Snowman
Canadian snowman.
Jeremy Snowman
Canadian
Hecht.
snow. But yeah, anyway, so
That nigga-
Red
question me
carpet
if you
king,
want
though.
to.
Red carpet
yeah,
king.
yeah, I've been interviewed.
How many viral moments, man? Talk to
Kodak
him.
Black, Lil Uzi, Ice Spice. We got
Elliott Wilson.
Elliott Wilson.
King Kunta.
We got the King Kunta clip. We got 100+ million views.
Head.
DJ Hed. We started some
You know what I'm saying?
controversy.
Charlemagne.
Charlemagne got a brilliant idiots mention.
Hey, man,
Sassy
listen,
Charlemagne,
bro.
you know
You
what
I'm
better
saying?
talk your talk, King.
Every once in a while, like you said, what you gotta do, flex every once in a while.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas.
That's the theme of the year for everybody.
That really is.
It is for real.
Somebody also wanted to know how DJ Hed didn't mention Blue Lips on albums of the year.
West Coast.
What you mean?
This is Joshua's question,
did
not mine.
Joshua.
Because he's A&R and Absol's
How
new
did
album.
Head not mention Blue Lips? I mean, I didn't mention it. I don't know. What's the confusion?
Shout out Q, man.
Joshua, mind your fucking business.
We love Q, man.
What you mean? I think
We know Q is nice.
Yeah,
baby.
Q is nice. Like the album's good, but I think
Great
that I would probably go with other offerings over that one if I had to. Like if it was forcing it. First of all,
It's definitely at least top 10.
First of all, Joshua, you know I'm biased to a core. So for me to even try to be unbiased, you should appreciate that, Josh. You know what I'm saying? Give me a fucking break.
Joshua Mon 5606.
I'm trying to be unbiased. You know what I'm saying? They say we need to. You know, I'm the West Coast guy, but we gotta like
Yeah,
broaden
that is
it.
true. The one time you didn't, you should actually get more credit for
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Joshua Diamond.
Yeah.
5606.
What I love is our maturity about being able to accept criticism.
I can accept it. I'm just saying, appreciate when I'm not biased.
You know what they also
West
did call
Coast.
out? They said they think you were throwing shade at A$AP Rocky.
Oh, word?
Because at the end when we were talking about, I said I could use a new Rocky album, and Head said, I said Ferg. And I said, what about
Why can't
A$AP?
you like Ferg more?
What is y'all
Not
problem?
Ferg.
Okay, I'll say this for the record. I don't have a problem with A$AP Rocky. I think A$AP Rocky's talented. I personally would rather listen to Ferg. Is that fair?
Valid statement.
Jesus. What the fuck?
Mary and Joseph.
Okay,
And the little homies.
okay. Last comment, and this will turn into the question because you brought it up on Twitter.
The bigger picture.
Somebody said Future. We don't understand how much Future means in Atlanta.
Yep.
And he literally runs the South. Anybody that goes against Future loses the whole South. He means that much to the South. And you posed the question. Who is the
Had this debate in the
most,
studio. Who is the
best rapper from ATL? So we'll close out on answers. Who do you have as the best rapper from ATL?
Best rapper from ATL.
Yeah.
And I meant not successful, meaning they don't have to be broke. You people are. I meant.
You're just saying numbers. It's not
I mean
just a number
accolades.
game.
Accolades,
I mean, it don't have to
recognition.
be just all of the
Yeah.
fanfare and numbers and metrics. It
You're
just
saying underappreciated.
underappreciated. I'm gonna go with Killer Mike and I'm going with Ludacris.
Oh, I thought you were going with Jid. I saw Barry Hefner was in your
Yeah, I'm
comments,
not.
but-
No,
but
Jid to
you
me.
don't rock with Jid?
It's not that I don't rock with. It doesn't. It isn't one or
Because I
the
think
other.
Jid, when you say that, I think Jid to me.
Okay,
You're talking about right now.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Ludacris
Damn,
and
one
Killer
more,
Mike are two of the most underappreciated
Killer Mike
artists
just won a Grammy. How's he underappreciated? He won
from
multiple Grammys.
people, not from the Grammys, from people.
Well, because he's older. Like, you can't get the young heads to know
It's
every
not
single
about
thing.
young or old. I'm
Okay.
saying underappreciated. Best rapper for me is Luda.
Oh, no, Luda's one of the all-time.
Luda is
overshadowed.
Luda
Yes,
is an
yes,
elite MC.
Yes.
If
His
he
talent
wasn't a
and
movie
respect.
star, he
And I'm
would
gonna say
get
this,
more respect.
and I'm gonna
as
say
an
this
MC.
publicly. I've never said this publicly before. I have been looking for a Ludacris from California for the last 10 years.
Meaning,
But why do you think that in that era, Ludacris gets overshadowed by Jeezy and T.I.? Even though his stats compare, whatever you look
You
at
can't
the
fuck with
framework,
cultural cachet.
But it's like, yeah, like, so that's to me, that's kind of what he's caught up in. It's like he's judged from that same era of guys that have this solid, like, culturally, like, stamp of like a Jeezy or a T.I. So he's from that era. And then after that era comes Future and his run. So then Luda does get lost in history, unfortunately.
He does get
Yeah.
lost. Luda can rap with the Backpackers in a cipher, bar for bar.
Yeah.
He can make hit records. He can do videos. He's charismatic. He doesn't take himself too serious. He kills features. He can make hit records. Like
does he have a song? Is it Jay-Z and Nas and Luda? Am I thinking of?
for what? In
do
that
they-
category?
Do they all have a song together?
Yeah, Luda had
hip-hop- there's a
Luda brought
hip-hop,
them both together on his
yeah,
record.
and he
Oh,
stood
yeah,
with
yeah,
them.
for
He
sure.
doesn't get credit.
Yeah.
Do it for hip hop.
Yeah, do it for hip hop. Yeah,
He got Jay-Z and Nas together on his record and doesn't get
and
credit.
stood on.
I think Luda.
But then also because he becomes Mr. Fast
Superstar.
and Furious and
Yeah.
Mr. Movie Star so it's like, oh, we don't have to give him that because like
yeah,
he's
Cat
Mr.
Williams
Box
would say he
Office,
took the
like,
deal.
yeah,
Cat
it's
Williams
like-
said he took the deal and went and became a superstar.
yeah, that's fine. That's cool. But I'm just saying. I just
shout out Luda,
When,
man.
again,
Luda.
this
Yeah.
was a private conversation we were having. It's more nuanced to it.
Oh, so that's what it was. You felt you wanted to that quote was to kind of say, hey, what about Luda in the conversation?
Well,
Because
the
it's-
conversation I was having with the homies, it was more like, oh, Ludacris ain't done nothing. I'm like, bro, Luda's literally one of the best artists to ever come out of Georgia.
And let's not remember, even I was guilty of it.
Like
I
in real
thought-
life, bro.
I thought Nelly was gonna when he hit back in the day with the verses. I thought Nelly was gonna be Luda. Luda spanked Nelly and got him up out of there.
Luda
In the
his-
verses?
Swiftly.
Well, that's because Nelly needed a DJ.
Well, yeah.
He
well,
was
of
picking
course,
his own
that's
records
always
and
it.
shit.
But
Bro,
the-
get
but-
y'all a DJ, bro. God damn.
DJ for hire.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
I
I
got
No,
think-
but it was a great day to people to recognize Luda. Like again, we came in fronting on Luda. Nelly's Mr. Diamond this, country grammar, blah blah. And Luda spanked him.
Bro,
Reason,
Luda got records in real life. And
100%,
real stats, real
100%.
numbers, real hits. And his videos are still
Crazy.
All his videos are fire. Not all of them. Most of his videos are fire.
And Ludacris's flow may be unmatched. I think Luda and Cam have my 2 favorite flows ever. I don't think there's many people who can be as creative and make it sound as easy as Ludacris. That's also, I think, why he doesn't get a lot of credit, because it sounds like it's so easy for him.
Yeah.
It sounds like he effortlessly flows, but that's part of his skill level.
I just
remember
think,
the East
and
Coast
also
being
too,
like,
to be fair, like he never came up in those conversations when we would have those conversations about MCs and lyricisms and lyricists. It's like it's always 3 Stacks and Jid, and I'm like, bro, I'm taking Ludacris just from a versatile standpoint.
Yeah, because Luda tackled
Because
that
Luda's
whole,
gonna get me over here, and Luda's gonna go over here, and he's gonna get everything in between.
Luda tackled that whole East Coast MC type thing. It was like I could rap with the Jay-Z and the Nas. It's like I remember you being in New York. It's like those intros of those albums, like red, like oh shit, like
Southern Fried intro.
Southern Fried intro. He's barring us up. It's like you can't front on Luda. It's like he went through that whole like judgment of like what MCing is and attacked it. Like, no, you're gonna mention me next to Jay and Nas. Like,
So the
in
2
era.
people in
And
that
he did it.
I don't even go Jay and Nas. Those are a different caliber, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go from Georgia, just to put a bow on it. I'm gonna go to Georgia. I'm gonna go Ludacris, and then if I'm going New York, I'm gonna go Fabulous.
Yeah, right there, bar for bar.
Similar too.
Fab,
Bar for bar.
can't nobody
Doesn't get
fuck
that
with
credit.
Fab, bro. Like, it just is what it is. Like, on both sides, he'll give you a hit record with bars.
Yeah.
Like, who's doing that? You know what I mean? Like, it's either
They
one or
don't
the
know
other.
no other way to write. It has to have that. It's not.
I'm just saying, like,
It's not
I don't like when
softballed of,
people
like,
don't.
these 8 'cause of the
I don't
hook.
like the way
Yeah.
people don't try to give these legends they just do when we having a conversation. They always it's stereo. I'll talk to people who say 3 Stacks and can't even name three Stack songs.
It's just cool to
It's
say.
just cool to say because
Yeah.
you want to be in the know. Like, no, bro, have an opinion. I got my opinion. It's Ludacris.
But I also think in a new generation, I think someone like a Jid deserves his
For
credit
new, yeah,
too.
for sure. For newer generation, that's a different
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah. But our takeaway is like y'all should listen to some classic Ludacris, some classic Eminem.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, maybe
Go back. It's there. It's on your DSPs, man. Go back. It's all there.
at the end of every episode, we can end by giving somebody their flowers. Today was Luda.
All right, yeah, I want to give one more piece of flowers. Miles Minnick, I went to his show, Christian rapper. Go tap into that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, I saw
Christian
you
rap.
said it was
I saw
like
that.
very
Dope.
impressive.
Game changing. Miles Minnick is gonna be.
Lecrae's over. It's over.
I didn't say nothing about Lecrae. That's my guy. Salute to Lecrae.
Shout out
But Miles
Lecrae.
Minnick is gonna be one of the biggest artists.
Wait, slow down. What's his name?
Miles Minnick.
Miles Minnick.
He's a Christian rapper from the Bay. He's gonna be one of the biggest artists in the next 2 years.
Woo.
One of the biggest artists in rap in the next 2 years. Remember I told
Yeah,
you.
you sold out show at Novo, right? Here
Yes.
in LA.
He did Novo. In 2 years, he'll be at the Forum.
Wow.
Timestamp it. Right.
So you came in knowing a lot about it, or you?
I
saw
got
the
put
first
on it. Shout out to my
performance?
guy Ace, my guy DJ Mosky. They've been trying to put me on it, but I went and saw it for myself. Then I started listening to the music, met the dude, really good dude. Like, he wasn't always into that. He found Christ and got saved and stuff like that. But the music is top tier, slaps. And it's Christian and it's fire. And I'm in. Go get that. Miles Minnick. Go tap into that.
God bless us, Jeremy.
God bless. Hey, God bless us for being on this stage, and thank you for everybody who's
Woo!
watching.
So what's the cadence? Let's people know we're trying to tape Mondays, come out every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like, it's a weekly thing, man. We're
Weekly
back.
show. We're dropping every Tuesday. Leave us a comment of what you want us to talk about next time, and roast us in the comments if you'd like.
Yeah, that's cool.
We'll brush it off our shoulders.
West Coast.
West Coast.
The bigger picture. Yeah.